Our presentation style has been described by most as extremely intense and at times very combative. A lot of you are very likely going to be triggered tonight by the things you're going to hear us say during this podcast. We give all glory to the Father Yahawah forever. His will be done. We can't tell you anything more than the truths we've witnessed. We will show you the evidence, and the fact of the matter is, the truth itself, by its very nature, is a roaring lion seeking whom it will devour, because it wages war against all forms of deception and mind control. We do not present this information to be liked, or to be popular, or to make money, or to make friends. Here we stand as witnesses on earth for the truth, for the widow, and for the weak. We recognize that the choices set before us have eternal consequences, and it's our duty to share the truth with you that we have compiled. We fight so that people can have the information, because the best way to empower someone is to give them all the information. Tonight, we are here to witness to the truth. Thank you for tuning in, and may the Father's will be done.
Can you break your crumbling idols and push them pieces into the sea? Can I trust you to keep my secret? I have loved in the face of God.
on purpose?
I didn't take I studied outside of college. I studied in college.
Oh, the black arts.
I wasn't.
So you were in a black arts academy.
Yes, that must be it.
Exposed.
I guess I've been confused this whole time. And we've got Karen B. Karen, welcome. Are you wearing a tiara? I can't really tell.
I am wearing, actually, this is a crystal crown.
Very witch-like. All right,
Yes.
so we're all playing the part.
I wanted to make sure I had my crystal crown and my crystal balls. You know, I'm all ready to cast all kinds of spells this evening.
I've got my Book of the Dead here. I'm going to pay homage to Aleister Crowley, who RV says maybe is my god, because that makes a lot of sense.
And this is who
Ain't nobody stopping. Ain't nobody stopping.
And we are live on the Awake Souls channel, everybody. We are in the middle of a double header. How are you doing, brother?
Good. I'm happy to be here tonight. Relaxed, a little bit frustrated. We'll get into a little bit of that with a later rant. But I'm happy to be here. I'm glad we're going to get through some more of this content and we can witness to it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So for people that follow along, last night we did a big stream where we have a whole bunch of timestamps and we're going through them. So what we're doing is playing the words of these people and you can come to your own conclusions, but it's very clear right now that a dividing is taking place. All right, there's going to be the non-Christian side and the Christian side. Now they're trying to do it within the fake flat earth where they're steering people towards fake Christians. And we're going to show that they're all same team. That's what we did in last night's hangout. If you haven't seen it, it's just all timestamps from these people. We put it in context for everybody where you get to see what it is that they're talking about, who they're alluding to, because they have secretive talk where they have jokes that they laugh at that you're not supposed to get. All right, so this is Freemasonry, occult, all this kind of stuff, and it's pretty obvious. It's, I don't know, brother, as we go through this stuff, we're getting to the point where it's like, who doesn't understand this? We had a couple big truth bangers, Benny Shine and Joseph Bender. There was Jake the Asshole, and was it Thomas Scott or Pizza T or something like that?
Okay.
They came into our chat last night, and I don't know, these guys were putting them in their place and weren't having it, and they were just getting super exposed. These guys are doubling and tripling down, and it's getting really blatant. Like, I think the blinders should be off, the restrainer removed. Like, if you're not seeing who's who at this point, it's on you now, right?
Yeah. So I guess for me to add in here, parts of these podcasts, you know, I do like to laugh. I like to have a good time. I don't like to always operate out of the ego, right? But when I start seeing pedometer symbols and baby talk and pizza slices and all these different things constantly coming up, my red flags go off. And so at the end of the day, anybody that we show you on these YouTube channels, when you replay their words, it's up to you to do whatever that you feel that you want to do with these people. Now, what I'm suggesting is that, you know, definitely keep your children away from any of these people, right? We've got the Pizza Tea guy, Mark Sargent, Hori Sheet Show. There's a bunch of guys in the Flat Earth movement with these types of symbols, and they're all targeting children, right? It's a younger audience. You'll hear the David Weiss character talk about how he's talking to kids, trying to teach kids and children. And so for me, this is where I get into the ego, right? And I want to enact justice because, you know, people should stay as far away from anybody that's associated with any of these pedometer symbols You stay as far away from it as you possibly can. Now, as a full-grown adult, if you're into the content that we're sharing, if you like the witchcraft, if you like the Satanism, if you want to be a part of that, go right ahead. But what I'm going to tell you now is probably the same thing I've been saying for the last 6,000 years. And there's a good chance that there's a group of you out there that are going to deny it right up until the point where you're being thrown into the lake of fire. And at that point, you'll finally admit, okay, we were wrong, and we heard you say it over and over again, is the answer that you're going to give, right? So, but what we're going to continue to do is constantly be out here reminding everybody that if you don't trust in the true Christ, right, for his redemption, the death and resurrection, right, and then if you don't actually become righteous people and like try to be good people, stop ripping people off, stop trying to lie, stop doing deceitful things, stop trying to take down and, bring the new world order into fruition is what these people are doing. If you guys don't turn and repent from that path, you are going to be thrown into a lake of fire. And not just thrown in it, you're going to be hung above the fire. You're going to be bobbing in it. You're going to have different things coming down and torturing you for eternity. Each person is going to pay exactly for their penalties. Those that deny the reason, okay, we're in a simulation. We've been explaining this supernatural place here. It's not a materialistic realm. This is something supernatural that was created. And there are consequences for our actions. Now, we haven't just been here for one 80-year trip. We've been here for a long time. Nothing is new under the sun. But what I'm trying to say to you guys tonight is the evidence and the information and the words that these people speak are what they're going to be remembered by, right? So I'm reminding people out there to choose the words that you speak, the things that you create. When you have an ability to create things into reality, to share your artistic expression, make sure you're inflecting and looking at what it is that your goal is, right? Because we're going to have to pay for each choice because there are consequences. People always ask that, oh, there's a Doolittle creator, they say. Why doesn't he stop people from being hurt, this and that? Well, unfortunately, the part of this realm that was made is that free will is allowed to take place, right? And there's a lot of things that we could get into as for why this takes place. But what I want everyone to know is that if you're hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth and the things that Jason is saying right now, there's still chance for you. You're not in a lake of fire right now. There's no flames. Nothing is bad happening to you right now. But there's a good chance that if you're one of these people on the other side of the screen that we're going to be playing your words, you're definitely headed for that path. And if I don't warn you, if I don't tell you these things on Judgment Day, when you open your mouth and say, nobody told me, then I'm going to be held accountable for not saying I told them. Yep, Dad, I got it. I told them 20 times. I told them 120 different times each life. 120 times. I went to Jaron Campanella and said, hey, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop making these stupid idols. Stop sacrificing things for this and that. Worship the true creator. And I'm going to continue to do that. I don't even know. I'm hoping that this is the last time that we have to go through these types of content and these types of, because I don't want to be creating. I don't want to have to do this. I want, if these people weren't targeting children, if they weren't doing these types of things, we wouldn't even have to cover this content, right? So I've also been blocked off of Facebook. They won't even let me use any other backup accounts. I only have the Ronnie Shine 888 Instagram account. That's it. There'll be probably a link in the description if you want to follow me there. I like to make paintings. I like to write poetry. I like to do encouragement content. This is what I like. Music, videos, and things like that. But unfortunately, we see the censorship being ramped up. So Jason and I both know what we have to do. My rant is almost done. I'm going to throw it back to you, Jason. We've got to ramp up the content creation, more on-camera presence, more speaking the truth, more putting up evidence. And TikTok seems to be the place where we're going to be going. So all of that, there'll definitely be YouTube videos too, more of those coming in the future, because when they try to censor me or put us down, we know we're over the target. And they choose stupid things here and there, but I can tell, I can look at my own data and I can see exactly where the enemy lies. And we're going to continue to just pound away like over and over again. Like that is what we were created to do, Jason and I. We're not respecters of individuals just on their own. We're respecters of actions that people make, not the words that come out of their mouth most of the time, because everyone you're going to hear tonight on the other side of the screen are all a bunch of liars. When we put forth evidence, even in Russian Vids happens to be at the top of their food chain. If it's a pyramid, Jason, Russian Vids is the top one because he actually does mix in truth. The other people don't have any truth. They don't have any evidence. They talk about infinite domed earth, outer ponds. Okay. How could you have a dome that's infinite? Right. So now we have an infinite dome, right? Like, I don't even understand the concepts that are in these people's minds. You don't get any truth from any of them. And when the accusations were brought forth, now it's been probably 3 years since Jason and I brought all the information out about Pat, Mark, all of these people. David Weiss, we were all over him 5 years ago. Jeranism, Bob, all this stuff isn't new, right? But still, now what they've come back with is Russian vids, has brought forth all these accusations from our content that we literally gave to him, right? And then they do a live stream and then just say, no, you don't. They don't have any evidence. Not once will you see a screen share, except for when we see Rob Skiba's supposed funeral. That's the only evidence that you're going to see tonight from the other side, that little tiny screen share at the corner of the screen. No one has any actual evidence or refutations to any of the claims that we've made that these people are actually ravaging Church of Satan members. We've been all along right. Maybe 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I said Glowbusters, 5 things that Glowbusters promotes for Satan. I was spot on. We're still spot on. But now we have a mountain of evidence, thanks to Benny, whatever his name is, who, just before I give it back to you, I'll say this last part of my rant. We showed the picture of Benny, Russian vids, and the little bio that Polarization Nation put out. There's a really good chance, ladies and gentlemen, on the other side of the screen, that's not even him, right? That's the first thing. If I wanted to be an anonymous agent shill, do you think if nobody knew what I look like, that I wouldn't come up with an exposed other channel and then have that person put out fake information about who I am? That's what these people do. So everything that we present, you guys have to do your own back investigation on and do your own critical thinking. We're not trying to make money. We're not trying to make friends. None of that matters. Jason and I are here to witness to the truth. That's it. We don't care about monetization. We've never been monetized, right? I had a few videos for maybe 2 years on YouTube that weren't Christian related. They were truth videos that I wanted to get a new computer. I made $500 and I turned it off. That was like 6 years ago that I did that. I don't want to make any money off the truth. I never will. None of my artistic creations are going to be ever sold, whether it be music, painting, whether it be fighting for the truth here on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, wherever it is. It'll always be free because there's a law in place that it was Jason who really, you brought it forth. I'm going to give it back to you now. You told me that you had swore we're not supposed to swear any oaths, right? Or vows or anything like that. But the one that you put forth, I actually said, I can get behind that. And I have. Ever since that you brought that up to me, I was able to correct my course. Well, I wasn't making money anyways. But yeah, so what was it that you wanted to not make money? Because after we look into this, we understand that giving up the ability to want money is how we have full control over our choices, right?
Yeah, it gives you freedom, but at the same time, it's a burden. You have to work to be able to have the privilege to be able to share your content. So, guys that get paid to shill, like that is their job. They show up and do their thing. If you're going to be a truth content creator, and you're not going to do it for the money, then you have to be able to support yourself while you're creating the content. So it does take effort that way. Everything takes effort that's worth anything. And you made a comment earlier. I'm just going to bang on timestamps, because what we're going to go through tonight is a list of timestamps. So we have content creators that put up content. We've gone through and we've done timestamps. So we're going to be able to go through and look at their content. So these are things that are recorded and actionable and could be used, like in a court case as testimony. All right, this took place at this time. How many people now understand that when you send a text message to somebody, you've got a timestamp? I sent this at this. You didn't respond until this, and then you responded with this. So each one of those things are actionable timestamps. Now, if you just willy-nilly run around telling people, I'm going to do this, or I did that, or whatever, what timestamp do you really have that you can go back and say, well, I said this then? Well, all right, show me the timestamp. Where did you type it? Where did you send it? You need to have some sort of evidence for what you've done. So think about the things that you're doing. Everybody's situation's absolutely completely different, and we're not trying to add any pressure to anyone. This is something for you to consider regarding yourself. What timestamps do you actually have to show for what you're doing? Do you have anything actionable? Can you say, I sent this comment and I sent this email and I shared this video? There's a timestamp for each and every one of those things. Work on those things, because these are the things that get counted and are credited to you. In fact, you could say, if you're standing in front of the judgment throne and you're asked, what did you do? You'd be prepared. You go, well, with the amount of time I had, this is what I was able to do. I've got these timestamps right here, and present them. So it's not works-based. You can't buy your way into the kingdom. You can't say, I've done enough works that you don't have to have a right heart attitude, that you can go and sin in an intentional way where you feel like you've bought your way into the kingdom. It doesn't work like that. So our heart condition sets a compass within us that because of that, we are a certain thing. The person that is loving, that wants to help others learn about living forever in paradise as opposed to judgment where you're going to burn in eternal destruction. Just the good person wants to warn people. They want to say, hey, this world is being destroyed, right? There's certain rules that you have to follow in order to make it into the new world. Now, these aren't super restrictive rules. You have to acknowledge whose world it is, and there's certain wicked things that you're not going to be allowed to do, and you have to submit to that. So it's not so. The Satanists portray this world like if you can't do everything that you want to do, you're not free. Well, they want to leave the door open for wicked things, for the harm to people, to, sexual bad things, all that kind of stuff. They want the door open to all that. They don't feel like they're free unless they can do everything. A righteous person understands, or doesn't even have the desire to do those things. It doesn't even seem like a rule or a restriction to righteous people. So here we are. There is a divide taking place. It's very obvious. We're going through, they're talking about this is being divided. Flat Earth is being weaponized, and we seem to be going into some interesting stuff coming up. Probably tomorrow night we'll be talking about the calendar a little bit more, things coming up as far as the blood moon that's taking place, and then the eclipse. This is scriptural, so we're paying close attention. Plus, we're coming into the watch window for the 1260 days to Passover 2025, which is just a speculation that, all right, this calendar would make sense. 1260 days would land on Passover then. That's when the two witnesses would be. It's speculation, but we're into that time zone, and how many people are seeing world events right now that, it seems to fit. So
yeah, like never before, right? Never before have things lined up the way that they do. And, there's a pretty good chance that the Two Witnesses ministry is going to talk about a lot of the things that Jason and I have been talking about, because newsflash, we've been talking about the scriptures, the things that will be restored, right? Everything is going to be put back in place. The understanding of life and death and the reason why we've been here. All these different things are going to be brought back, all to glorify the Father. Right? Everything that has taken place will all lead to the glory of the Father. That's what the whole point of this was. And to the glory of the Son, right? And to all the righteous people that get to dwell in a kingdom forever, right? This is where we're headed. And so I just wanted to encourage everyone out there that there's absolutely nothing. There's nothing that can take you away from that. If you have a righteous heart, like nothing, no amount of times could you be killed that you would not be brought back. None. There isn't anyone in this realm that can walk this place that has any ability to take you away from the fact that the living Father, the creator of the breath that brought you to life, will not bring you back. Doesn't matter what game, which simulation, whatever realm you want to imagine, you're his child. He will always re-raise you. And this is something that we need to be bold in. We don't want to be cowards. We don't want to pussyfoot our way into a topic. We want to be bold about it, because when you have no fear, when you realize that, there's a good chance that you've been here probably close to 120 different lives, just roughly learning, being pruned as a tree, making repentance, learning how to pray, learning about basic washing of your karma, These are things that you'll hear in the New Age movement, but you're not going to really understand it until you come to the full understanding of the reason why we've had to do this, right? The whole thing is laid out from Adam, right, to Shiloh. Everything is put down. It's all been recorded. Jason and I have been studying this, and we're sharing it with you guys. It's not like a huge shock that I'm telling you guys that this isn't the first time that you've even heard probably maybe even me say these exact same words. And I don't want you to think about time and reality the way that you were taught. What I'm asking people to do, set aside any bias of anything that you think you know, right? Just put it away and just always pay attention to the words that come out of people's mouths, right? And the content that they share with the world. These are the most important things that we have. The words that we say and our actions, right? Those are the two most important things. And have no fear, right? Fight for truth. Stand up in the face of the oppressors. Call out the Church of Satan members. Do you think I'm scared of Mark Passio or any of these people? I'm not scared. There's nothing that anyone can do to me that I know I won't be brought back again. My proof of it is that I'm here. And I've come to understand these things, and I'm able to share them with you guys. But I've ranted way too much. We should probably get into the content, because I know we got tons of timestamps. And I really want people to get the information, because if you don't see the information minus the spells, minus the witchcraft, minus all the games that they play, you might not see it. And you might have a child or a teenager that's growing up that might, this whole flat earth thing is cool. And then all of a sudden, I don't want these teenagers headed their way over to these pedometer meters. I don't want any of that, because if I see that stuff and I don't warn people, that's on me. And see, these are the types of things that I value as a man. I value protecting the innocent, standing up for the weak, pointing out things that I'm capable of seeing. Because if I don't do that, the Father might as well just, delete me, take me out of the simulation, just delete me, let alone me being afraid to die. If I'm not allowed to stand up for the innocent, fight for the weak, to come out here and share truth with you guys, if I'm going to get censored off the internet completely and I don't have my voice heard, before all heaven and earth, I tell them, just delete me, just erase my file. And I'm fine with that, because the only thing that matters to me right now is standing up for the weak, fighting for freedom, and speaking the truth. And that's it.
Well, we are coming into something right now, brother, because as we were going through the content last night, and as we go through it tonight, it's going to be obvious that something's going to be given in the world pretty soon. So I guess anything else you want to talk about before we get into it?
I'll try not to ask the Father to delete me anymore. I'm sorry, everybody. That's such a depressing thing to say. It's just because I know that he won't. Okay, I'll let you guys know he won't delete me. He's not going to delete you guys either. I mean, the other team, they might not get deleted, but they might not like the loop that they get stuck in. So let's get into it, brother.
All right. Just getting set up here. I'm going to get you the share.
Thank you very much. Get a 5x5. How's the sound to Yahawahashai's daughter? YD for short. TLC checking in. Am I muted?
I can hear you.
Saturday Night Live, huh? Who cares about hockey? I don't really follow it that much anymore. It's all the sports are fixed. They kind of. And plus, the hockey team that I liked hasn't won since 1967, so it's a little pathetic. But they got the Hockey Hall of Fame there and all the best players in the game. Well, not all the best. I mean, it's a couple of good French players out there and a couple of good from the West Coast. But anyways, that's so off topic.
All right, so just to give people a little backstory as to what we were doing, last night we went through 2 Russian vids hangouts. All right, we went through 2 Jake the Asshole hangouts, and we started a Jaronism. Now, the one that we started wasn't really the absolute first on the topic. It was the one titled Rest in Peace, RV Falls. So this is where we were at in it, and then there's going to be a... Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Is this the one that Pat comes in? I think so.
We're at that one. So we have the 2-hour one, then the 4-hour one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and it's funny because Jaron goes on to complain about how he's been completely censored too.
And Jaron, you're getting views right now, right? People are watching your content, even though you won't say our names. And if anyone notices on the screen right now, you don't have it quite centered. Oh, you want to have the chat there?
So it's weird if.
Yeah, this is a weird site. I know it's poorly built. I know, but hey, I don't
if
have
I bring it in like this,
I shouldn't complain.
Then it goes like this. But what happens is that it ends up
skipping you down.
Yeah, it all of a sudden shoots.
Well, let's
to the
do
bottom.
it. Let's show them so we can see if Jaron can get this fixed, or David Weiss, whoever owns this.
All right, we'll try it like this because it's much easier to see. I just gotta recenter this over here.
There is something. Oh, did it already drop down on you?
It did.
See, Jaron, what's going on with your website? So, one thing I want to say when you get it back up on screen is he's got these two empty characters, what he calls the super surprise shills. And I thought it was pretty funny. I'll give Jaron a little round of applause, but I like the way that you put us in that spot because, Jaron won't say our names, right? He's a coward. He did at one point say our names, but now they won't, him or David, right? Because the information that we have against him and David is damning. They don't want anybody to know we exist. And they've been like this for years because they're cowards. That's what you get from the Church of Satan. A bunch of cowards, right? Pretending to be characters, trying to swindle you for money, and all this pedometer symbolism everywhere, right? And it's just getting gross. But I mean, I just wanted to give you a shout out for how you fixed the super surprise shills in the intro and the outro. We'll play it again for y'all.
All right, so we were at the 36:48 mark, and we're going to move on from this point here. And so I want to go to 37:18.
Well,
go ahead.
Before we start, let's talk about Jaron's. Let's look at his graphics here. He's got RIP RV false, which is a retarded statement, right? It should be RV lies because they're saying everything that he says is a lie, right? Not that it's false. Like what? The other side, RV true, right? His name isn't RV True, is it? Is that his channel's name?
No.
It used to be Russian Vids, right? But anyways, that statement's bad. His graphic work is pretty lacking. If he wanted to make the super surprise shills, he should have put long hair on the two characters if he wanted to be really intelligent. His lettering is pretty flat and weak. At least he has like a half decent like layout. He's better than most of the people online. He doesn't incorporate any music as far as I could tell on any of these Rockfin streams. And the characters that he has on, this Alex guy I guess they keep shouting out that he is the most annoying character ever, right? That did they just bring this guy on just to push people away?
Yeah, it's to turn people away. He's a troll. He's obnoxious, and it's intentional. It's part of his script.
I don't understand the ploy there or the mentality to bring someone on. So we don't care. We don't care if anybody, like, I love the people that tune in. Y'all are my family. But Jason and I don't care if anyone tunes in. We don't care. These guys here actually want to make money, right? They're selling stuff. David's got his app. He's got that Euro something blue dot on his shirt, which is, again, Ball Earth mind control, right? Earth is called the blue dot, ladies and gentlemen. So what they do is like Math Powerland. He wore a shirt with a globe on it the whole entire time, right? Is it a painting or not, or whatever was his line? But he was mind controlling you. So imagery, the way people create content, right, is all how you actually manifest things into reality. And Jaron, who is an outright occultist that worships Aleister Crowley openly, knows this. So his content is all satanically driven. And I just want to point out the differences between his work and the work that we do. And I want people to recognize these things when you're looking at these channels. What is the content that they're portraying, right? Not only that, but I've seen pedometer links in just searching to prepare tonight, just to show David Weiss's logo more. Jaron's logo is also associated with a pedometer link, right? It's interesting that the Conspiracy Circle guy's logo is also the shape of a slice of pizza, right? And then you got Dearth's logo, which is a 666, and a spiral, which is a pedometer symbol. So at the top three people, and then I don't know, I'm pretty sure this blue bird that Karen has is also probably something to do with that type of stuff. I just don't understand why I can't believe we live in a world where I have to call this stuff out. It shocks me, really. And they target younger audiences too, mind you.
Yeah, we're just covering this from the aspect of the fake deaths and how they're all like Freemasons and Jesuits and secret society people. Now, what we've found as we're going through it is the whole pedometer aspect to it, that it seems to be rampant throughout the whole thing, that as we finish this coverage, then we're probably going to have to dive in and point that out, because that is the grossest stuff in the world. Like, it's not cool that supposed leaders of the truth movement are into that kind of stuff. It's bad.
Again, I want to bring up the thing that my heart wants to do is create things, right? And when I put my heart and my time into creating things, you can feel the energy from me, right? So I want you to remember that everything that these people create is what their heart is manifesting. And, you know, it's terrifying. You know, I don't understand why it is that somebody would want to do these types of things, call themselves a Jesuit, an actor. Why would you want to use an Illuminati slice of a pizza as your logo, right? Why would Durth want to have the 666 swirling pedometer symbol in his logo with his also mind control Alice in Wonderland nonsense? Why would any of these people want to associate themselves with any of those things if they were supposed truthers that wanted to be paid for what they were doing? These people just want to push you away. And I don't know if they're trying to trap people. I'm not an investigator. I don't know what goes on when these people turn the cameras off. All we're going to do tonight is show you what they do bring to you on the camera.
Their words. So let's see, I'm going to be jumping ahead to 3718 here, and we'll get going.
Jared, it's like, dude, we're talking about complex subjects, you know, the shape of the earth, satanic. We don't want to come at it so serious. Sometimes we like to joke around, like, you know, and that's the thing is that Richie from Boston, they just want to play videos of tanks on trains and be like,
it's the only video I know.
They want to push fear.
Yes,
because they're no better than the government pushing fear on everybody to keep people following them to find out, oh, what else do I have to be afraid of today?
How many times?
Because we don't play off
that.
Because we don't play off that. That's why they don't like it, because we're being sarcastic.
Because we're telling
there.
So Richie and Russian vids are exactly like the government trying to fear porn everybody. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, think about Richie. He's the worst of them. He's fear porn, man. He the whole thing with filming tanks. He's probably got footage from one person from 10 years ago that he's used over and over so many times. He is that fear porn guy. He's the heavy metals in the sky. He's the right.
Yeah, what's that David guy's name from Harvard, right? He'll tell you all, guys. You know, they've somehow managed to defy all the laws that we know, and they get these giant tanks filled with heavy metal chemicals into the air, and then they somehow spray it, and then but somehow the heavy metals just float up there, right? They don't ever sink down to the earth. But the main thing to point is they both said that Richie from Boston and Russian videos are fear porn government agents, basically, right? I'm just pointing that out now, because later on into the night, you're going to hear a much different tune about guys like Richie from Boston and Russian vids.
Everybody to not live in fear.
Right.
Exactly.
You only get one chance here.
Stupid fucking number. It's just a number.
No, you don't only live once, Jaron. Nope. Wrong.
It's funny that he had to jump in with that too. Like he's some sort of authority.
Yeah.
No, he's actually straight shilling against what we've been revealing, and he Kabbalist, that is a tenet of Kabbalism.
The hat he's wearing, right? The hat that he's wearing is a Kabbalism hat. Jaron is wearing a tiny hat, ladies and gentlemen. Ring the bell. He just wears a bigger one because he's cockier. He thinks he's better than them.
He's the Pope of his own world.
Number to my show is 704-666-1776, and I picked that number on purpose because you cannot be afraid of stupid ass numbers.
You're giving them power.
Okay, hold on a second. She picked the number 666 because she's not afraid of that number. No, she's promoting it.
What do you people think on the other side of the screen? She purposely chose that number, not because she's trying to desensitize you to it. She knows exactly what she's doing. She admits to being a witch. It says right there under her name, the witch.
Yeah, so think about it. Like, most people understand what it's like to get a license plate. If your license plate just showed up in the mail and it had 666 on it, most of us probably wouldn't even notice it. But for a person to actually want that, to get a personalized license plate and go out and order one that has the 666 on it, that's a totally different thing. Right? She wanted to order that number. She wanted that. It's important to her.
Every time you do that, we are bowing down to the great Masons who have these numbers. Why not steal them from them?
Bowing down to the great Masons.
Why not steal it from them, Jerry says.
Yeah. You use 666. You use 333. Please, 777. Do it all.
Use all their numbers.
Yeah, but not when you're afraid of it. Not when you think every day is the end times and Richie from Boston says you better get it today because tomorrow Jesus is coming and it's going to be all over.
Well, why don't they expose the fact that it's poison? But whatever. That it's slop, there's no protein in it, it's powder, it's preservatives. No, they want to expose that Richie thinks it's the end times. Jaron, newsflash, do you not see that everything that was predicted 2,000 years ago and written is coming to fruition? You'd have to be an absolute blind... I won't insult him.
Yeah, but you want to talk about bad researcher. Here's a guy that's using the name Jesus. All right? Oh, but yeah, he is a Jesuit, and they are the guys that made that name. So now I understand.
God bless.
It's just dumb to think that way. It's not a good mentality. It's why I don't like Christianity in that fashion, because I don't think it's a good doctrine to teach people that we don't have to worry that somebody's coming to save us. Why not fight like hell? And then
why Jaron is fighting against Christianity where there is a savior coming. He wants you to go fight. Why not you go get armed? Why don't you go get prepped? See, this is what the guys like Richie are literally for. They're to get you whipped up into going and buying guns and slop and pails and all this kind of stuff, thinking that you're going to be your own savior, that you're going to be able to
take the New World Order out, right?
Yeah.
Newsflash, you guys, it had to be if it was going to be the stop of this, it would have taken place before it started, right? The people in government needed to be taken out of their positions before any talk of war is happening, because the people that are in the New World Order, they have all the like turret guns and all the planes. And what are you guys going to do? Really? People just need to have faith. If there was enough intelligent people that were informed, they could just simply walk away from the system and create a better one. That's the answer to this, is to not support any of the things. The only way to fight back truly, right, is with your money. And that's the only time you'll ever see anything take place, is when you stop buying their products, when you stop listening to their shows, when you stop participating in the stuff that they want you to. If everyone just stopped paying taxes all at once, there would be no one to tell you that you had to pay taxes anymore. This is the only way that you ever fight back. You can't win a war with guns against someone who has all the guns, even though the American population is pretty well armed.
Yeah, especially Texas.
Which keeps the peace. Yeah. I'm not against it. You want to wear a gun? Fine. If someone wants to harm you or your family, then you should have the right to defend yourself. I'm all for that. And Jaron talking about fighting, Jaron's a lazy ass ostrich coward bitch. The only thing Jaron spends time on is something that he's going to make money on. You want to know what a true spiritual warrior is, Jaron? Someone that goes around loving people, helping people out that are falling down, people that don't make money, people that take the time.
Doing it not for the money. That's
not for the money. And you want to bitch about Christianity, Jaron, when it's the actual truth about how to live the freest, how to have the most faith and the most security, the most strength, how to stand upon the firm foundation of your realm, your reality, and your future. These are the most important things, Jerry, not Big Bang heliocentric Kabbalism that you believe in. Jaron, you know what? I'll bet you Jaron thinks he's the reincarnated Aleister Crowley. I wouldn't even doubt it if he thinks that. And I think it's hilarious. I'll debate Jerry.
Probably a big fight. Like David Weiss probably thinks the same thing. Like,
Jerry wants to have a debate. We can have a debate, Jerry. We can have it over poetry. We can have it over flat earth. We can have it over Kabbalism. We can have it over Christianity. Jaron,
I will debate you on any topic. We can go back up the wall like we did all those years ago when you came on my channel and you just started cussing and started to do these stupid things with your computer. We can do that anytime, Jerry, anytime. But the truth of the matter is that everything that you say is a lie, and we can show evidence to provide the facts that we have the truth. And you are a profiting snake liar, snake oil salesman. How do you like that, Jerry?
Well, and here we're going to have some words from Alex, who's same team, the guy with the pyramid. Like, here's his logo. It's the pyramid with the one eye in it, and then the Jesuit light rays coming out of it. Conspiracy Castle.
Pizza slice.
Yeah.
Pizza slice. And he holds pizzas up. And, lastly, before you hit play, I just want to say one thing. I actually supported Jaron, right? I was one of the flat earthers that actually got him going and gave him real on the ground traction. I would make a video and promote his stuff because he was going to do tests, which all failed. Everything that he ever set up proved that he lives on a globe, right? Everything that this man has done has been to subvert the truth that you live on a flat world, because he's a Kabbalist. He believes in heliocentrism. He thinks he's going to somehow get off this planet sometime. That's what these crazy nut jobs think. I just want everyone to know that. I absolutely was nice to Jaron. I treated everyone with respect. Even David, I had some respect for, but I knew he was a shill too. This Alex guy, I've never had any respect for him because, he does the most disgusting, rude, vulgar things. And I see so much pedometer stuff associated with this guy. It makes me feel sick to my stomach, really.
All right. So we have Timothy Ryan, who, I don't know, my eyes are bad. I can't tell. It sure looks like Pizza T has joined us tonight. But we'll keep going here. Let's see what Alex has to say.
Sold, but what I'm trying to say, at any point, anybody has a price, whether they're Donald Trump or they're Mac Parhar, and I'm not saying Mac Parhar is a show, but you know what I mean? Anybody can be bought and sold. So him saying that
nope, not true. Not true. Absolute lie, Alex.
Couple words left.
What's his name? George Carlin is a Freemason? I don't know if there's enough evidence, but it could be. Who gives a shit?
So, yeah, everybody can be bought and sold. That is that is what people that are bought and sold say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't honeypot me. You can't buy me. There's nothing that you can do ever. That's the stuff. Again, remember I told you guys in the beginning, every single word, every single picture, every single thing that you see anyone create is the content of their heart. Pay attention to it.
I think Dave's going to come in now.
Well, I did the interview with Corin Nemec, who's an admitted Mason. Does that make me a bad person? Does it make him a bad person? It does? Thank you.
Well, no. It doesn't make Dave a bad person. It makes him an associate with Freemasons. That's it. Freemasons stick with Freemasons. They have this code. They swore an oath to lie to people together.
Chickens hang out with chickens. It's just sort of a birds of a feather flock together.
Invitation. A friend sent me the thing at our local. There's a little social club. I guess it's a Freemason club.
Social club. I guess it's a Freemason club. Watch the way he starts stumbling over himself here.
They're having an open house to learn about Freemasonry this weekend, and I thought about going. And I'm like, what if someone takes a picture of me there and it gets back to RV or something?
Maybe
I
I'll
don't give a shit.
You should go.
No,
wait,
you know what'll happen? You know what would happen? He would just come out and deny it. But ladies and gentlemen, he just took the snapshot with his mouth. How stupid do people have to be to not see this?
Got invited to this Freemason hangout.
I should go because I can learn about it. Just like people,
I can learn about it. See, he's selling it right now.
That picture of Mac at the meetup where somebody brought a Freemasonic Bible, okay? And they took a picture holding the Bible, and some people went like this, and some people went like, did these stupid hand signals. Because what do? We're jokesters, like me and Rick Hummer with the Coronas. And if I had known that the ladder was Freemasonic, I would have posed on it. But I was sitting on it, and I was fucking exhausted.
There's your only evidence that David Weiss is not a Freemason. Right there. Look at his face.
Mm-hmm.
They mock us. Watch.
Do you have the link where RV shows it? Where he shows the man sitting backwards on the ladder, just like David was?
Yeah, we went through that in last night's.
Okay, just for people, hopefully that if you haven't seen it, you can go back. There's like a 4-hour podcast we did yesterday where it shows all the evidence that David just jokingly, mockingly. First, he said he was invited by his friend to this Freemason teaching instruction weekend. And remember,
Freemasons literally swore an oath to lie to you. The New World Order, the whole Cerveza bug thing, it's their thing, right? The Church of Satan. These are your guys.
That's what I like to do. Why can't we use their own mockery? Like, he's the one that's so mockery. We're just using their same mockery back at him. That's why we like to use the symbology, because it's inside lingo for the truther community. So it's just doing stuff that other people like. I mean, it's not that insane.
And I think you would hope that
you see that? It's just truther lingo for the Freemasons, right? They're acting like every single person that's in this truther community is a satanic shill. Well, I agree that it seems like they all are. I can firmly say that there are two that are not. And
true. 100%. Yeah, you're right. Most people are. So I guess the Freemasonry crew incentivizes researching. So ipso de facto, you get truthers, right? That's what researching is, learning truth. But I mean, they don't learn truth. They learn lies, right? That's why it should be RV lies. They mix truth and lies to profit, because if someone just told you nothing but lies, you wouldn't believe them. They have to lead you in somehow. But you know, Jaron, he's really snake oily. He doesn't really tell many truths.
All right, here's some statement from Jaron.
Amazing. Mag bitter truth. And I'll put it in the chat.
Idiot.
So so you renamed our show the Shill Show, which makes a lot of sense that all of us are shills. So smart. It's just such an intelligent thing to say, to just start calling people shills.
All right. So what we're witnessing here is the introduction of Pat. And I'm just going to rewind this one time here. Pay attention to the way Pat comes into the scene. And then there's going to be a dance around the chair. Now, if you had watched last night, Richie from Boston did the same thing. So these are like ceremonies or rituals that they're doing. Alex has admitted that what they were doing to Russian vids was a ceremony. David did the same thing to Alex. We're going to be going into that. You'll see that ritual played out again. But so watch Pat as Pat comes in, and Pat's been gone for a long time, right? Pat got knocked out of this community by probably me. It was probably me that did it. I doubt it was Antonio. That they just can't say our names. But I'm probably mostly responsible for Pat leaving now. Pat's done some stuff on narcissism, but didn't go too well for Pat. And now all of a sudden, boom, Pat shows back up. She did some crypto stuff with Robbie Davidson. All right, and then now all of a sudden, boom, just shows up, and this is her introduction. She's been gone all this time. This isn't like, oh, Pat Steere. But all of a sudden, Pat Steere has now come in and an authority on this topic.
Yeah, so you renamed our show the Shill Show, which makes a lot of sense that all of us are shills. So smart. It's just such an intelligent thing to say, to just start calling people shills. What happened? I mean, the CIA, whoever you want to say it is, what do they need to do beyond introduce that word?
A cat comes in, starts scratching in the middle of a circle
into truth communities, and it's completely and totally destroyed it from within. It's pretty sad.
What do? They bring somebody in to give some truth, some RV type truth, but it's RV false. He gets a huge following, and then one day when they need to, they invade the flat Earth movement, and they go, look at everyone. This guy's got 40,000 subs, right? Flat Earthers, and look what he's saying. Jessica Alba's a girl, a boy. Look at all of this.
She's a girl, damn it! Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
All right. That was weird. This is one of the pedometer type things. So Elba is one of these characters that gets called out as a T-Rex. But now Jaron's sitting there going, it is a girl, damn it. And that's what gets the laugh out of this whole crew. That lights Alex up, that lights up David, Pat, and we can't really see the witch. But that was the big joke. So Pat's still got yet to talk.
And they totally discredit us because everyone's following this guy that's throwing out all this nonsense. Dave Weiss is a Freemason. It's just as bad. Okay. And then him disparaging so many other truthers. We got to get into that a little bit.
Can I get a pause?
It's
so I know we're talking about Patricia, right? But in the background, we have Jaron and David trying to pretend that they know what a shill is. I'm going to play this again. Hold on. Here we go.
Somebody is shill. I want to be perfectly clear what I'm talking about. So under definition of internet shill, it says an internet shill is someone who promotes something or someone online for pay without divulging that they are associated with the entity that they shill for. It goes on to say shills promote companies, products, public figures, and viewpoints for profit while pretending to have no motivation for doing so other than personal belief. Alternatively, they sometimes denigrate someone or something, such as a political viewpoint or a competitor's product that is in conflict with the entity that they serve. If we look farther down here, more complex internet shill jobs, such as spreading disinformation, are more demanding and may be well paid. Such jobs may be telecommute positions or conducted from temporary offices, which are frequently moved to avoid detection. While this talks about being paid, there is another way to be a shill, and that is to be a part of a secret society where you have sworn blood oaths. In these cases, you are not being paid, but you are still a shill.
So I just want to continue to promote that Jaron's angle and motive throughout this section of podcast that we've been showing is anti-Christian, pro-Satanism, right? And pro making money off truth, right? And pro-freedom. Everyone should be allowed to do everything they want. Do as thou wilt. So I just wanted to point out that it's very likely that Jaron's being paid by the Church of Satan. He doesn't even care how many people he gets viewed for. He's promoting the products and the agenda. That's what is going on. He wants to bash Christianity and he wants to sell Satanism. It's clear. That's what Jaron shills for. I want to be super clear about that.
It's rotten when people are doing good work.
There's our other guest.
We got to bring her on. Patricia.
Hello.
All right. So
first David brought up that Russian vids called Jessica Alba a tranny. Jaron said, no, sorry, she's real, unfortunately. And then Patricia got triggered and then got up and walked a circle around her chair. Is that right?
Yeah, let's watch this circle around the chair quick.
We got to get into that a little bit.
Yeah, because it's rotten when people are doing good work.
There's our other guest.
We got to bring her on. Patricia.
Hello, Patricia Steere.
I don't know.
So walking away like she can't hear a thing. Right, she's not plugged in headphone wise, just walking away.
No, she's on yet.
Of course, she just
maybe she kick her back out.
She might know she's not on.
Don't change clothes or something.
I see her.
Okay, there she is.
Freemason Patricia Steere, all the way from the.
Patricia, did you see the trouble you got me in by asking me about my anniversary date? How dare you ask me? About my anniversary
I remember.
She came from off scene. Came in, sat down in the chair, sat there for a while, then got up, walked around, and then all of a sudden Jaron's got a question regarding his anniversary. All of a sudden, there's no talk. Pat's back. Pat's been gone for years. It's just boom, right into the mix like this. It's weird.
That.
And Patricia, your albums in the back are 2 rows of 3. That's 33.
No. Au contraire.
No, we don't look at that. We don't look at that.
Yeah, but
it's prominent one.
Double cross. That means you're a double crosser.
It matters how you set
the
camera.
How about cross dresser? Right.
Well, there is the double cross that we went through last night. It showed up twice. So RV used it there's these Freemasonic signs on the side of a building, and he pointed them out, and he went into depth as to the double cross.
I just want to throw out here, I don't care. I don't care if Patricia, whatever Patricia's sex is. If it's a woman, that's fine. If it's a man, the whole entire transgender agenda is New World Order-ish. It's gross. And men sometimes look like women. Women sometimes look like men. We are similar. We both have 2 eyes. There's some differences. So the entire thing is basically just a nonsense reality to go down, because nobody's going to really know unless you've dated Patricia. And the one person who has says that it's a man. So there's that. I don't care. I care more about the fact that you have ties to Satanism and you're proclaiming to be a Christian. This is where I have problems.
Up, right? You have the bottom one hidden and the top one hidden.
Actually, I want to go back and play this one more time. She sits down and her camera is not showing the top of this. So this whole thing is scripted.
Yeah, of course.
Right away, Dave brings up, oh, that's a 33. And she goes and touches a button and motors up the cameras. Absolutely a planned shot.
2 rows of 3, that's 33.
No. Au contraire.
No, we don't look at that. We don't look at that.
It's
prominent one.
Double cross. That means you're
Or his like laptop that she tipped up or something. I don't know. Absolutely planned. Double cross.
Mm-hmm.
That's an important timestamp. That cross references to not only RV showing the double cross, but that exact same sign being in the Thomas Scott video that was put out in 2015. Yes.
Right.
double crosser.
It matters how you set the camera up, right? You have the bottom one hidden and the top one hidden.
Exactly.
33, 100% confirmed.
It's the hidden hand kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's the hidden hand kind of thing.
So it is 33. What you have is an as above, so below. So you've got the top. Don't move. You're covering it. I was going to show people. So you have the top and the bottom. So it's a mirror of, heavens and the earth. It's all of this stuff. We could break down the symbols and talk to you about what it is. But my question that I want to know is, why is it that they want to promote these things? Why do they want these idols constantly around them? That's what I'm asking.
All right. Pat's going to tell us why Pat is back right now.
I don't even know. I know he
can't get that far.
Yeah, I didn't even watch.
It's all the usual stuff that's always been said about me. For those who don't know, I'm a shill. I'm a Satanist. I'm transgender. But here's the thing. I can go into details about all that stuff because we do have people who don't know about all that old stuff or even know who I am because time has moved on in the flat earth world. But what I do want to say is
I don't even know why he was even bringing you up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know why. Hold on. No, hold on.
Why are you bringing up old shit?
I tell you why. No.
He's so irrelevant. He's like scraping at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, not that that's what you are, Patricia, but to go around and talk crap about, but to say that particular stuff.
Right.
This is very bottom of the barrel bullshit.
Things that were already put to bed.
Has nothing to do with flat earth.
To get away from it in 2019. Right. Not because I was guilty of any of those things. I just was really sick and tired of being harassed. And RV and I had heart-to-heart talks about it. Yeah, on Skype. And
heart-to-heart talks on Skype. All right. Remember, RV said that Pat was a moderator in his chat even up to the night that he called Pat and fuck her out. So these are personal in communication people.
He put his camera on. We talked.
He likes you, Patricia.
Shut up. You saw RV's
You've seen
face?
Him? Oh, yeah. Several times
we had
private conversations.
You're the only one I know who can say that. I think you're lying,
I think there's a few other... there's a few other people who've had conversations and seen him, too. We were also Facebook friends. I was friends with not RV Truth or whatever he called himself, Russian Vids. I was friends with him in his real name on Facebook. Also, I was on his show, not as an interview subject, but we did duo shows together. I think 2 times, maybe 3. He was on my old channel, Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, for 1 interview. And then I think maybe 1 to 2 other shows where we had really nice banter. We talked about lots of different things. And up until the day that he did the show, which has the thumbnail with Mac on it and me, I was a moderator still on his channel. So why would he hang out with virtually somebody and make moderator on his channel a person who he claims as of just recently is a Satanist and a transgender, which are things, of course, that he
you know what you did, right? You know what you did.
A witch moderating on his channel.
She made a supportive comment against the.
All right. Are we all together on the same page right now? RV and Pat, super close friends. She knows him on Facebook, has seen him on camera, done all these shows together, was a moderator. So was Karen B. in the chat of RV when he called Pat out. Does anybody understand? Same team? COINTEL? Fake?
Well, yeah, I brought this up yesterday, and what I said was, if RV had all this satanic information, which he did because we showed it years and years ago. When was the mixer? 2017? Jay?
Yeah, I think so.
Right? We're 2021 now. So we exposed all that stuff, all the stuff that she was selling, all the satanic stuff. It's all literally satanic. We showed it yesterday. She's got the Baphomet on a tank top. She's selling it. So she was still a moderator while he was presenting the information that he had all this time.
Yeah.
All these years. Like, let that make sense.
Same team. That's the only conclusion anybody can come to. It's impossible to come to a different conclusion. You can't actually think that RV was on camera with Pat and she was a moderator for him, and with
really crazy.
No warning during a live stream, he comes out and starts calling her out as a Satanist and a T-Rex.
And
right?
she came right back with, I'm taking Dave's side.
That was the response. Yeah, I was all in last night's, if anybody missed that. So now we are going to start getting some backstory explanations for Pat.
Yeah. So there is a Poshmark store, and all that same merchandise is on there. Old books, Aleister Crowley buttons, A Girl is a Gun t-shirts, because those are, I sold the guy all that stuff, but not the Aleister Crowley stuff and not the books. That was that guy who bought its own personal passion, like bands like Alien Sex Fiend. I mean, come on. I'm almost 60.
Okay, hold on. She didn't really explain that really well. Okay. She said she sold a bunch of stuff, but then some other guy sold stuff where?
This online store.
In her store.
Yeah, in her store. But she didn't sell him the Aleister Crowley books. She says it was his stuff. But so the point that I hear is there wasn't a sale, yet these are the same things that are being sold now by this other guy. And it's going to get... See, we called this out, I'm pretty sure, right back then.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how we hit it like this, because the brother's going to come up. And we did research into the brother, and we can't say for certain. We can't say for certain, but our speculation is that Pat's brother is the same as Pat. It's just depending on what outfit that they're putting on that day, right?
It is. If it is that, it is that. But at the end of the day, I would rather take the content and character of the heart and the things that Patricia has chosen to do and say. Right? She is yoked up with someone selling satanic books, satanic clothing. We showed it all. Right? That's what matters, not whatever gender it really is. If it's a woman, it's a woman. If it's a man, it's a man. I don't care. Show me the content of your heart. That's what I care about.
She's on a panel with the actor, the Jesuit, the witch, David Weiss, Mr. Tiny Hat himself.
Years old. That's not the kind of music I like. That's not. And why would I? You guys, everyone here's met me.
Even
why
if
would
you
I?
sold that doesn't make you a Freemason.
No.
I mean,
It doesn't make me.
give me a break.
But he says things like this is guaranteed.
It makes you
and
a
he
Satanist. It's satanic stuff, not Freemasonry stuff. She was selling Baphomet products. Right, that's what was on in the store. I don't know what she's saying that she wasn't. Her only evidence against it is she just said, "Yeah, that wasn't mine." What?
I don't know how she's gonna. She could never wiggle out of this one. Well, she can wiggle out of it because she didn't own the store, dipshit.
I don't own the.
It's the easiest wiggle ever.
There is
the easiest wiggle ever.
But it was her store. We were talking about Girl is a Gun and all this other stuff. But this is so messed up.
All right, so this next section is where Pat's brother comes into the story.
no more brick and mortar clothing store. The guy ran it out of business, which was, kind of serves him right for not paying me. But he took the merch and some of the stuff and then added his own personal passion.
So she never got paid for the store.
Okay, now we see. And it was he was the one who was the Satanist, not her, but she sold stuff in the Satanist store.
But she sold it to him and he never paid for it.
He just stole it.
Stuff that wasn't in my store, which was vintage books. I mean, Jaron, you'd appreciate that.
Now my store.
But
now it's her store again.
Yeah.
Right? My store.
Never got paid for it. So she got the store back.
Jaron supposedly had a bookstore, right?
Yes. And she actually just said, Jaron, you would appreciate this because, He's a big bookstore guy, right? Listen.
Yeah.
Stuff that wasn't in my store, which was vintage books. I mean, Jaron, you'd appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But also stuff that we would call satanic, but the outside world.
Stuff that we would call satanic.
What? She's admitting to it now.
Yes, absolutely. And when Pat tells you we would call this satanic, then it really, really, really is satanic.
World, the non-conspiracy world, even all of us, before we learned about this stuff, we just thought it was like bands that, you know, did certain. Aleister Crowley was something
Choking on
interesting
their
to read
words.
about, but it wasn't our thing.
Interesting.
Like these are,
And he
a
is
lot of
interesting to
people-
read about.
Oh, and he is interesting to read about. Yeah, you made a video about it.
Remember, I told everybody, pay attention to the words that come out of people's mouths. You can see it, especially if they create content. But these people, the words that they're choosing to talk, everybody's pro Aleister Crowley. Yeah, that's great stuff.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I can't
A lot
believe
of
RV says you
people-
can't read about it. You're not allowed to read
Right,
about
a lot of people
him, not at
think
all.
of that stuff as just bizarre or strange aspects of the world that they study or look at. And once again, never had a store selling any of that. Another conspiracy that RV didn't bring up, but other people have brought.
RV had evidence of her store having the Baphomet satanic books and the clothing and the earrings and wasn't it like?
Well, it came from
tank tops.
He used the Nathan Roberts video. He didn't use ours.
That's fine. The information is the information. I don't care whose video
Well,
it was. Was it not on her site?
Was she saying that she sold it to a guy that didn't pay her for it, and he sold the stuff?
I mean, I don't understand how she's trying to get out of that.
Jaron says it's the easiest wiggle ever. All right.
Brought up is that I am, I'm actually my brother who.
Oh, look at the delivery on this. Yeah, I want everybody to see the delivery on this. She's choking on it, and then all of a sudden,
the store selling any of that. Another conspiracy that RV didn't bring up, but other people have brought up.
that was us.
Other people.
We were the other people. So in the thumbnail
Super
tonight,
surprised.
you'll see everyone that Ronnie and I stuck ourselves in these anonymous slots as the super surprise shills because we showed up and it's
We're the ones that they won't name. They'll
super
use everybody
surprise.
Yeah, super
Shills.
surprise. It's us. We're not shills though. We're trolls for truth.
No, we're
Get it right.
surprising the shills.
Yeah, I know. But the key thing to remember is whether it is the brother or not, it's choosing to be yoked up with people selling satanic stuff. She just promoted Aleister Crowley, right? Just, that he summoned demons, talked to like the devils and stuff. And it's really wicked stuff. Like, I don't understand why someone's heart would want to, I want to become a Satanist today. I don't understand the logic. When you see the world burning around us right now, we see the Cerveza thing taking hold. People are being cut off from their loved ones. There's so much pain and so much censorship in the world. Yet these guys want to read the Book of the Dead. That's what they want. That's the content coming out of these people's hearts. And they're yoked up with pedometer symbols everywhere, right? Which is really gross with content David talks about all the time in his debate with Russian Vids. We should get to that. He's constantly talking to kids. Like, get these people away from any children. I
want to remind people of the context of the situation we're in right now.
They're not even teaching true flat earth teachings. It's all David Weiss is teaching a Kabbalist heliocentric version of it, where there's millions of suns and infinite pawns. It's the same thing. Well, how did the first pawn come into creation? He'll say a creator, and then they'll ask him what kind. He'll say, "Fuck you! I don't have to tell you which creator." You want these people teaching your children? I don't want these people anywhere near children. But I'm not the judge. I'm not here to knock these people out. That's not my goal. My goal is to expose them so that other people can protect themselves. That's it.
So back in the context of where we're at right now, we stopped where Pat's going to reveal something that RV didn't, but some other people did. And let's hear the delivery. Let's see how convincing she can be with it.
Is that I am, I'm actually my brother who owns a clothing store in New Orleans called Tim.
That I am actually my brother that owns a clothing store. Let's hear.
I'm actually my brother who owns a clothing store in New Orleans called Timothy Steere.
They're such good researchers, though.
Yeah, but the thing is,
thank you. I guess they're giving us shout outs here. And you know what's funny is because all these videos are on private right now, so they can't go and flag it to get rid of it. So let's just be grinding them. Not only are they on private, but we have them all downloaded too. So sorry guys, we got like Jason and I have over 1,000 videos documenting everything that these snakes have done. Look at Karen B's eyes at that shot. Ooh. I told everybody, look at the content, look at the characters that you see on the screen. Just use your discernment. These are the people that want to teach your kids. That's what they're going for. That's their goal here. They want to get your kids learning about Aleister Crowley.
I think there's a few seconds left in this clip.
The thing is that there's tons of pictures, or there were before I deleted all social media because of the current thing that's happening in this world.
Oh, the current thing made her delete all her social media, huh?
No, we covered this back when it was going down, and we saw all the pics. We actually have them all on a live stream, so we don't have to worry about what you did, Pat.
Few live streams, actually.
We already got it. So let's jump ahead to 57, 51.
It's close enough. It's close enough.
When I started my channel till 2019, and behind the scenes selling Aleister Crowley buttons, which nobody discovered till maybe 2017.
But we can all
2017. That's right. That's when we got it.
Which nobody discovered until 2017. Yeah, that's when we got it. Right?
Yep.
We can go ahead to an hour and 25 seconds.
She's literally admitting it there.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
So just letting people.
That's why I hit a timestamp on it. We got it.
I want to point out before you hit play, I just want to point out that Jaren's logo, right? The Patreon logo itself is a pedometer symbol, right? It's the swirl right there, and it's also you could turn it. It's backwards 6 pointed down. So you got the 666 in the Patreon logo, which Jaren has been a promoter of since day one, right?
It's not. I've talked to Sheila. I mean, come on.
Me too.
At this point, if you want me to believe,
yep, we're on to the Skiba death now. Jaren has talked to Skiba's wife. How weird is that, brother?
Okay, I want to bring up that Jaren earlier on tonight promoted Aleister Crowley, right? And then you've got Rob Skiba, who has people believing that he's a Torah observant Christian that believes in the Christ. Right, that follows the Torah. Now, Jaren is on a first name phone call basis with Rob's wife. So, on the outside look, people are going to say, "Oh, that's because they're both such good people." But my question is, why are we watching a show? Okay, this one's not called Baby Truthers. The next one will be, where these people are portraying themselves as babies. They're eating pizza slices all over the place. They're constantly talking about pedometer symbols, and they have them all over the page. I'd want to know why Rob Skiba, why his wife is friends with this guy, that he just wants to sell you Bitcoin. And, it's dumbfounds me that there's a connection here.
Hates Christians, but
Jaren hates Christians. He's going to go on tonight. You're going to hear him absolutely mocking, blaspheming Christians, calling them you'll see the content of his heart. So why was it that Rob Skiba's wife is on a phone call basis with this guy is my question.
It's a great question.
That his wife is lying to me and that this is all some ruse.
I was talking to her during the whole thing. Maybe some of you.
It wasn't just Jaren talking to Skiba's wife. So was Pat. I was talking to her the whole time. These two are the support network for Skiba's wife.
Now that we're on to the Skibs, why wasn't Adam Parable of the Fig Tree? Why wasn't he, or Vineyard? Why wasn't he at the speaker at Rob's funeral? They were best friends. They were, there's tons of videos with them together. Where was the entire team? Where was Rick Hummer? Where was all Rob's friends that they were constantly filming? And we haven't seen anything. Neither have we seen anything. This is Yahawah's daughter keeps bringing this up. Mac supposedly just, what did they say? He's down. Mac went down.
He's down.
None of these people have any remorse. None of them have said anything good about any of these two people, except Jaren has said over and over again that Rob's a really good guy. If Jason scrolls down a little bit, you'll see the top video on Jarenism's Rockfin page here. is the Skeebs, right? A Torah observant Christian who is actually probably most likely Church of Satan member, Kabbalist, right? Kabbalist. That's how, if you draw the connections here, the strings that pull is that Jaron and Rob are both Kabbalist shills that believe in heliocentrism, and they're ravaging Church of Satan members.
Well, Jesuits tend to be more geocentric, but still on a ball, right?
As Sungenius is, but Sungenius lost the debate against Rob, right? Yeah. We all saw it. And not only that, but we've got it documented that the Vatican scientist, Robert Sungenius, right, was first seen on YouTube with Jaron and Bob on like Glowbusters 1. They had an actual scientist from the Vatican. I guess Jaron has a great grandfather that was in the Vatican or something. So Jaron's line goes back to the Vatican, right? He's got the Campanella line. And they're super heliocentric shills. And go figure, every single thing, like I brought up before, that Jaron did was a failed test, right? Jaron is in the Behind the Curve documentary that Pat Steere funded with Mark Sargent, the Freemasons, the Satanists, to absolutely destroy Flat Earth. After that movie came out, everybody thought the Flat Earthers were the most stupid people on the earth. Jaron pointed a laser at a bunch of trees, and then he was on the other side. Jaron had someone point a laser, and then he was on the other side of the trees, and he said, "No, I can't see the laser." That was his experiment that he did for a documentary. First, he was going to drill holes through a bunch of, what was it, 6x6 posts that he was going to...
4x4s. He was going to drill like 3-inch holes through a 4x4 while they were sticking into Home Depot pails with sand and gravel.
Play sand.
Yeah,
and he was going to try to drill. If anyone's tried to drill through a beam like that, through a post, I would have loved to see it. And then he was going to try to shine a laser through it, not even thinking, I build things with lasers all the time. If it hits any surface, it scatters the beam. It's gone. And he was going to say that if he didn't see the laser, he lived. And then the dumbest test that he came up with, he was going to stretch a fishing line across a 3-mile section of ocean, right? And then he was going to say that if the line in the middle was sagging, right, that they were going to try to tell everybody that we lived on a concave Earth, right? That's where they were actually going with everything. I continue to get so sidetracked. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm going to keep quiet for a minute.
Yeah, we're not done with the Skeebers yet. Jaron's going to go on to tell us that he could have faked his death.
You were too. We were texting each other and discussing. She had hope and faith that Rob was going to recover and that they would have a great story to tell about how he overcame this and the real truth of what this is and what the doctors were trying to do. And maybe even until this day, she has some faith that he's
still alive.
It sounds crazy. Is going to come back.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe, from what I've heard from other people, she hasn't put out an
Rob's going to come back
yet.
from the dead?
Yeah.
Is that what they just said?
Yeah.
Oh, how did I miss this? I feel really bad right now. I feel so stupid.
And you know what? If somebody wanted to put out a fake obituary, that would be very easy to do.
Oh.
So
it doesn't mean anything. They're not going to take that as evidence anyway.
No.
See? Yeah, so you could put out a fake death certificate. Absolutely, you can. And they didn't even go through the effort of doing that, though.
No, because all they have to do is come out and go, you guys would have called it fake anyways.
Exactly. Way too much work for these.
These people are lazy. They only do stuff that they can get paid for.
Jump ahead here a little.
That is it. He's running out of content. There's not enough hoaxes. There's not enough bull crap for him to talk about. So he's doing this out of pure desperation because he's had long form conversations and friends with all of us.
He does a 5-hour stream where he spends 3 hours just saying hello.
Hang on. So the enemy of these guys, they've had like long conversations over again with all of them. RV.
He's friends with all of them.
They're all the same team.
Yes.
You just said. And so what we've been saying is that this is a controlled demolition. These people never wanted followers. They didn't want anyone to go after the truth. They were just nothing but toxic, poisonous people trying to create ways for themselves to make money and not have to do anything. And it also looks like a bunch of pedometers too. Unfortunately, it is what it is. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that the symbols and signs are everywhere.
We got another section here.
That's why he wasn't even able to.
They gave him all kinds of crap.
He had all.
And then there's that fake picture of him in a hospital bed with his thumbs up.
Is that fake?
I saw that on Facebook. Someone shared that. That was almost 40 days before he died, right?
Now they're calling the picture of him in the hospital fake.
Yeah, the thumbs up, because he's doing a thumbs up, and because the story is that no one was, once he was wheeled through the doors, Sheila's never saw him again. It was 40 days he was tortured and killed by the people at the hospital. That's what they say. They put him on a ventilator and it just killed him. Listen, you put people on a ventilator that go into brain trauma, that are in comas, people that can't breathe for themselves. You don't put someone with pneumonia or a respiratory illness onto a ventilator. I'm talking too much. I'm not a medical expert. This entire story is ridiculous. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and so the whole Photoshop thing, like Karen B is going to come off like she's a Photoshop expert, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to have a picture of somebody laying down, like if we were to try to stage that shot, I would have to put somebody in the gown and hook up all these things. It would be an absolute nightmare. You would have to have a person laying down in that prone position, the lighting, reface, all that kind of stuff.
They reface someone with the same body shape and, you know, skin tone and everything. They just matched it.
That's fake.
Because
100% fake.
I didn't know.
No one saw him in the hospital.
These are the people that say not everything's fake, right? They're going to constantly say, Jaron was saying yesterday's stream constantly that, you know, there some things on the news is real. Not everything is fake. Not everything. But now what they decide is fake, right?
Pat's point is nobody saw him in the hospital.
So who took the picture, right?
But
the picture was circulated 40 days roughly before Rob died. The picture was circulated on Facebook. You can go and search and find the timestamps. If you know how to keyword search Facebook, you'll find the posts 40 days before he died, roughly, you know, because it's probably some sort of stupid ritual that these people do. He faked his death, right? They needed that picture to support the fact that he was an anti-Cerveza guy that got that and died. It's the same thing with Mac. Exact same story. Yet you got these Church of Satan members up here saying that there's no evidence to go against that. Even though he was mainstream media all over the internet, Rob was, as the anti-this, anti-that Christian, they labeled him, when we knew very well he was not a Christian in any way. This is his team. These people right here, these are the ones talking to his wife, right? This is his team. These are not Christians, people. Look at the symbols: Jesuit, the actor, the hypnotist, the witch. And then there's us.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Well, there's a little bit more here.
Wheeled away?
Yeah.
That picture is fake
there.
because
listen,
and I can spot a fake photo. Hold on, Alex.
Well, he's very gray. He's very gray.
Shut up. Listen, I've been using Photoshop for literally 23 years. I used Photoshop
23,
since before
right?
it had layers.
Get that?
I have used
2 3s.
Photoshop before it had layers.
23 years, 2 3s.
That's like saying that you
DOS, you had Photoshop when DOS was around.
You use Windows before computers were invented. That's right.
Don't make me smack my own knee till I hurt myself over this fun. Come on, Karen. Like, why is it that everything they say has to be a lie? Is that like the game that they play? Let's see who can lie the most.
I had Windows on my typewriter.
I can't even believe they even have any followers. It shocks me, you know, because I don't care about followers. The people that follow us, they're our family members. They love the things that we talk about. Now, who would love this stuff? These people, so everything's a hoax and they're truthers and they're against the Cerveza, but the guy that they're defending supposedly died of it, right? And he wasn't a Satanist. He was supposedly a Christian. Get that. Make that make sense.
it through its entire iteration. I have used it for decades. I can spot a photoshopped photo just by looking at it. I'm telling you.
1984, she had
fake.
it, right?
That photo is fake. Most of the pictures that truthers share on Facebook are photoshopped crap.
It's true.
Yeah, even if they're in our favor, for sure.
Yeah, you know what, David? He's being real quiet here.
Yeah.
I got to bring Dirty David in on this one. Okay, David Weiss is the Photoshop king. All this guy does is present fake evidence. You know the picture that's behind him? It's been rectilineated. It's a balloon launch. I don't even know if it's a real one. The whole thing that David has behind him might be CGI. But as an editor, I know when I throw the balloon launch of somebody who has used a GoPro lens, right, and it looks all spherical, even though that you can see the sphere from 2 feet above the ground because that's the way the GoPro lens bends it. If I throw that into a rectilineator filter, it flattens it out just like that. And David knows that it's not even a real image that he has behind him. Even David, so he's not going to say anything at all, right?
Yeah, he's fake stuff with drones. We've been all over his case.
Yeah, but maybe Karen B is the one that does it for him. I think she just outed herself. She just bit her big mouth because, that's another thing that you'll see with narcissists. It's not even just narcissists, liars. Sometimes they just get comfortable and then burp, out of their mouths come nothing but sometimes they tell the truth. Maybe she is David Weiss's CGI expert. That might be true. Maybe she has the Photoshop technical skills. I wouldn't be as far to say that actually wasn't absolutely true.
Before layers, I think that's what Photoshop actually created. I would have to go back and double check that, but I think the whole purpose of Photoshop was the layers thing. So that you could manipulate things, you need to have layers to do that. So,
unless you're gonna trim film like NASA,
yeah, just
did
paint.
or whatever.
They had Microsoft Paint before. You could just paint a picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I saw my mom. I mean, I was with her the whole time.
But that's their evidence that picture's fake, right? Their evidence was that Karen B was a Photoshop analyst, and it's fake. They don't show the picture, right? They didn't show. These people don't show anything. They don't show anything.
So Alex has got a quick statement that's going to be awkward here.
See him. That's how she saw her husband.
That's how I saw my mom. I mean, I was with her the whole time. Mine is a little different because I watched her transition. She died the same way Rob did.
Transition.
But
are you guys kidding me? Okay, there's something I want to tell you guys about I was the event skeptic before I became the Limitless Channel. Crisis actors, and if I just want you to put yourself in Alex's shoes. Okay, you're on podcast. Your mom died of the cerveza thing. What was it? I don't even know. Months ago? Was it recent? I haven't heard him drop how long ago it was yet.
Yeah, I don't follow that guy outside of what I see him doing with the Globebusters.
But do you hear how he didn't have any remorse? And there's a good chance that he's probably smiling, because what's called duping delight is when somebody's lying to you and they know that they can't hold back their smile. But other than that, if this guy's mom really did lie, and he's just able to say, yeah, my mom died just like Skiba, next question. What?
Well, I find the wording of it very curious that she transitioned the same way Skeebers did.
Mm-hmm. And probably Mac.
Yeah, they all had the same transition. Let's jump ahead a little bit here to
Ingenious.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Cats.
And here's the thing too, I don't have a problem with people questioning people's deaths. I don't have a problem. Okay, I don't have a problem with it. But
then you would have no problem with what we're doing right now, right, Jaron?
When you're going to do it, let's have some substance and let's look at the whole body of work of what Rob Skiba has done.
We did.
No, we're not going to look at that. We're going to look at the whole body of work regarding his death right now. We've already covered all the other disinformation he put out.
The next day after he died, we put out the podcast sharing that information. Just some of it.
We got
hours and hours more.
And say, is this the kind of guy that secretly has been working for the Masons and is going to? No, it's not even. Yeah. He's so Christian. And maybe not exactly
so
Bible.
Christian.
I mean, I know he's a different kind of Bible believing. What is the Torah belief, right?
Well, I know he's a different kind of Christian.
Hold on, I gotta mute. We gotta hear that again. Hold on a second. Wait, I know he's not a Christian. He says
he's a different kind of Christian. He really gives it away.
Masons and is gonna. No, it's not even. He's so Christian. And maybe not exactly Bible. I mean, I know he's a different kind of Bible believing. What is the Torah belief, right?
And Rob had to go to
Torah belief, yeah, right. Kabbalist,
Thanks,
Judaizer. Oh boy,
thanks, Jerry.
Does he got more here?
No, can he have more?
Yeah, this goes for.
I wonder
all these festivals and stuff, Jaron, where people
do you think
weren't
they have
flat Earth.
Stockholm syndrome? Do you think they missed us?
I don't know.
Because I know Mac absolutely uber respected us because we were able to call most of it out. Even though he did bring up to Jason that he was surprised that Jason didn't notice more Satanism in him.
Yeah, I know he was.
He said that on a podcast.
He was shocked, but yeah. So that's interesting. There's Mac, and there's RV that I know that they're on the same team. Yet I, for some reason, don't have the same amount of contempt for those individuals as I do the rest of these.
Yeah, no, I like, that's the funny thing. I like RV more, and when Jaron first came out, I was like, okay, I like this guy. I see what he's doing. He was, sort of acting kind of Christian-like.
I thought he was going to be the guy that at the end of everything said, see, I was just trying to show you guys the way, you know, I've always been a believer. And then he just got more satanic. It just went worse and worse. And then he was flat out like mocking the scriptures. And, you know, you can tell what he's shilling for, right? His agenda.
Channel name is Jeranism. He's literally trying to create a cult around him.
Well, that's what it means. He's created himself as a deity, which again is the lie that the serpent told Eve in the garden, that you will be like God. You'll be a God. Jaren believes, like Aleister Crowley, he believes that he's a God, right?
And stuff, you know, or alien people. So he did have to walk. He carried a burden like David, like all of us, as a flat earther. So he wouldn't do that.
Remember his debate, Dave? Remember his debate against Sungenis? At
oh, I remember that moment.
It was awesome.
Yeah. That was a big
Horrible.
moment in flat Earth.
Yeah, it was awesome. He did so good. He was just so good.
Yeah, all he did was promote the AE Mappa model and the stupid dome theory, which is a bad transliteration for the name word Rakia, which meant the sky, right? Where the sun and the moon and the stars are, Rakia, that's not a dome, you guys. You guys are parroting Freemason transliteration mistakes. Like, all you have to do is go and continue to go through the Strong's Concordance, and you can follow the words back, and you can understand the true meaning, and you can see how it's referenced in other places. The word Rakia is also the reference of the area of the space above the father's head. He's a Rakia. He doesn't have a dome over his head. It's an open expanse. That's why these guys are wearing domes over their head, because they think they're God in the Most High. They're portraying their brain as the temple of the Most High, and the hats that they wear are probably what they believe is to be their Rakia, or their firmament above their head. And they believe they live on spheres inside of spheres inside of spheres. That's what these Satanists believe.
Can you give the audience a little background on Sungenius and how it ties into this?
Okay, well, I covered Sungenius long before he was on the Globebusters. He was a guy that came out from the Vatican that was debunking that Earth was moving, right? His big thing was that Earth was in the center of the galaxies, right? All the other space and stars travel outwards away from us equally in all directions. That we're on a sphere called Earth, and we don't rotate. The sun and the moon and the stars spin around us. That's what Sungenius came to the table with, which was the original way that they got people off of the flat Earth. They started teaching them this, and then that moved into then relativism and all that. So everything's moving relative of everything else, so nothing seems to move, right? You know, Sungenius is a Vatican scientist. You can do your own research on him. His name is Robert Sungenius. We've got it all documented on videos. Yeah, Jaron and Bob were the first people to bring him into the movement. They brought him on. Well, I was the first person to bring him into with a video where I was debunking heliocentrism, because Robert Sungenius was talking about some good things, like the what was it called? The axis of evil, right? How everything is flat and stationary in the heavens. They took a picture of it, and it basically debunked heliocentrism. Everything that they've ever actually gone out and done is debunked the Kabbalist theories, right? So they just spin it and flip it upside down, and then lo and behold, Jaron and Bob brought him on, and then next thing you know, Rob Skiba was debating them, and Stephen Benoon, who has the Israeli News Live channel, was the moderator, and Zen Garcia was there, all the same team. And the debate was horrible. Rob argued with mistransliterations, and everything that he was doing was absolutely trying to tie the scriptures to an AE Mappa model that was circular. And then Rob even went as far as to say that we lived under a dome, and then the rectangular shaped tent of encampment was actually a circus tent. And they mistransliterate and misappropriate the scriptures, while proclaiming that the thing that he was most turned on by, the guy that he was citing as the proof that we lived under a circus tent, had this statement about thou shalt not change anything. There was a law of thou shalt keep it right? That's what they were promoting, as they were absolutely lying to you. So Sungenius was the Vatican Jesuit. I wouldn't be surprised if Robert is his uncle or something, right, on his mom's side or something like that. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
In my thought, I don't do this for the money. I just have big ideas. I have big plans for flat Earth. And then he's just the lies. I do it for the money. I do it. Anything's for my benefit. I stole the app from
Patricia did the meetup.
Oh
she did the meetup at Pyramid Bar on purpose.
It's unreal, and it really affects me. Like I say, I'll go
What doesn't Patricia explain how that went down? Did we skip that? Because she said, no, we didn't pick it. We knew the owners of the place that had the pyramid place, right? But she just went above. You can watch this yourselves, people. Like, she just admits that, we didn't pick it specifically. We actually knew the owners, and that's why we went there. That's what she said.
A little trip.
Remember those the good old days.
But it was a pyramid bar, and when I found out it was a pyramid bar, I said, "Oh, yeah, that's not going to."
But who gives a shit?
Right.
What are we supposed to do?
Who picked it, but I know the person who picked it didn't pick it because it had that name. They picked it because they knew the owners.
Mm-hmm. Illuminati. Let's use the right word. We don't know. These people aren't all Freemasons. They're from different secret societies, and we can tie them all together with the word Church of Satan, because that's who they worship.
And they were okay with a large group that we wanted to have at that date. And it was a really cool place. They had beer, and we all hung out and had a great time.
They're the only ones
that
none of us have 50 people.
Karen picked a Masonic place because.
Yeah, get this, people.
They wouldn't require masks, right?
Yeah, I got the Shrine Center to do my event at because they didn't go along with all the New World Order bullshit. They didn't push the masks. They didn't push backs. They didn't push crap. And we all had a great time there.
Yeah, because they are the New World Order. The Cerveza thing is the Church of Satan through all these different secret societies. You people are the ones benefiting of it, profiting off of it, and you're giving it all away. You're telling people. So the only people that aren't being enforced, like everyone else, are the Shriners. Really? That seems to make sense, right? You want to point your yes.
I have a problem with the hypocrisy.
Don't be a hypocrite. Me too. And then I asked RV, is it okay if people make money? He's like, yeah, if they make enough to pay for gas and a few utilities. What are you talking
ridiculous.
About? Why wouldn't you be happy if Alex started making $100,000 a month? I'd be stoked.
Biden makes money. Kamala Harris makes money.
They spend so much money on these lies, and then they think truth should be free. That is one of the biggest psyops there ever has been.
And let me say this: none of us will ever be.
Money. Kamala Harris makes money.
Is it muted? I think I'm muted. That's fine. I was talking too much. No, I mean on your platform. I don't. I think you're muted. I don't think you had your microphone in there.
Oh no.
I don't know how long it went for.
Yeah.
But he just noticed.
All right, that's good.
It wasn't long. You caught it quick.
All right. Let me get my.
Well, this is a good time for me to say that an advertisement here. This is the Yahawahashai News Network. We are sponsored by no one, right? We are working for riches in the kingdom of heaven, not earthly ones. It's a good time to make that. And you now have your mic back. Let's keep going. I don't think you were muted for very long.
I hope not. That stinks. I gotta get my stuff back here. All right, so we're at
Good job, the people in the chat. We got the messages. Thank you, Yahawah's daughter. Thank you, Benjamin, too.
So we're at 1:12:06. So yeah, we were talking about. Let me play Jaron again. This is him. Truth is not free.
$1,000 a month. I'd be stoked.
Biden makes money. Kamala Harris makes money.
They spend so much money on these lies, and then they think truth should be free. That is one of the biggest psyops there ever has been.
And let me say this:
it's the most excited they've been in all podcasts. They were all right there. They boom, a boom. You hear the way they ramped it up there? Play that again one more time, please.
Biden makes money. Kamala Harris makes money.
They spend so much money on these lies, and then they think truth should be free. That is one of the biggest psyops there ever has been.
And let me say this, none of us will ever be accepted by the mainstream media.
All right, so that's the end of that clip.
They have been on the mainstream media. Patricia's been on it. I don't know if she's been on it. Yeah, she has been on it. Wasn't she in like Playboy or Hustler or something?
Hustler.
Right? Remember? Bob has been on it a bunch of times. The Behind the Curve documentary where they all mocked the truth of Flat Earth was on Netflix.
Waiting for attention. It's so sad.
Yeah, he had to go back. I did an 18-minute video. I did an 18-minute video where I said, hey, here's Aleister Crowley. I know some people don't like him. I said, but when I read his books, I don't read the incantations and all the little stupid summoning demons, but I like to learn what he thought about and what he talked about.
That's the third time he brought up Aleister Crowley tonight.
He can't stop talking about Aleister.
Again, what did we say a shill was? A shill is someone that promotes an agenda. So he is paid to promote Aleister Crowley and to bash Christianity. That's the whole team. When you ask David who he believes in, he tells you to F off. Who's your father? We'll get to that.
All right, so here comes one of their COINTEL explanations.
Pictures of me standing in my store when somebody from the local newspaper in New Orleans interviewed me when I opened my store.
How many people, when they started a business, had the local newspaper or television station come give you coverage? Is that a normal thing? Every single time a person opens a store, the news comes and runs a piece on you and you see it on your local news? Well, Pat got that kind of treatment.
I was standing in my store in front of a red metal table, and with behind me two pictures that look like pop art from a comic strip of a woman, just her lips and her hair and her hand doing the shh symbol. Now, remember, this was 2011, and that was something I bought in IKEA.
Hold on. I want to bring up here, if you were doing satanic symbolism before it was exposed on the internet, that's a bad thing. That's not a good thing. That means you absolutely knew what it was. You put it in your symbolism years before the truthers came out and exposed it as being satanic. You're owning it. You're saying, I did this before. This is her timestamp. She's literally telling the world that she was promoting the Satanism, witchcraft, idolism before it was known, right? 2011.
It was like $6, and I bought it because it was bright, colorful, and it had a pretty woman on it, and it was really fun, energetic wall decor that was dirt cheap.
It's also a tranny
IKEA picture. Now, funnily enough,
don't tell them, right? And I'm only pointing that out because that's why we have speculations that this person is a transformer. She outs herself.
Didn't he also attack Brian and Carrie Madej because they had that rope bridge picture from IKEA behind them?
Ooh,
people have pictures from IKEA.
That was such a stupid softball. What is it called? Non-equivalency. I call red flag on your non-equivalency. You can't put those two things together because someone called out a rope bridge. That's retarded. Okay, red flag, Pat. You are someone who was promoting a satanic symbolism. Red and white are the colors. Red, white, and black are the colors that people usually rep Satanism with. That's just known. And it was the sh symbol, which means that you're hiding something. You're telling people that you have secrets.
And do you think it's possible that IKEA could have Freemasonic artists that put this stuff out that Freemasons go around and snatch up? Is that possible? Yeah, they're the ones that run these big industries.
Retreat up.
All right, we got another section
in Woodstock, New York, and he was there. I hung out with him, Amanda, whole bunch of other people, Benjamin Balderson. Awesome, real people. The guy's real. He loves guns too. Man, does he love guns.
You think Dave loves guns?
Which kind?
Man, does he love guns. He got a reaction on a Pat. Does Pat look as, some 60-year-old washed up DJ? Does Pat look like the type of person that would be interested in guns? Listen to, this is Dave's delivery. I feel like he's talking about something else.
He was we had a retreat up in Woodstock, New York, and he was there. I hung out with him, Amanda, a whole bunch of other people, Benjamin Balderson. Awesome, real people. The guy's real. He loves guns too. Man, does he love guns.
That's cool. You know,
that's so funny. Man, does he love guns. Skip ahead here to 1945.
Have nothing.
I listened to Karen's stream where she reads the Bible.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, hey, and I want to make this point. It is a battle of good versus evil, but just because there's good Muslims, there's good Christians, there's good people that have no religion. So give me a break. You can't just label one religion good and one bad.
How is it somebody who's born in a country where they have
the battle between good and evil? That is what's taking place right now. And what we're doing is overstanding this battle where we have two COINTEL groups. We have all within Flat Earth. We have the Freemason New World Order AE Mappa modelers, and now they are trying to subdivide that group into Christian and non-Christian. So this battle versus good and evil, all of the secret society people are all evil. Right? They have a satanic agenda. They are working for the devil. That's the battle that's going on right now. It's us kicking your asses, exposing your lies right now.
It's easy. They don't have any evidence for anything they say. We've documented everything for the last 8 years, right? Everything they've done has been against the truth, and everything that they've done proves it, testifies to it. Jaron did like 4 experiments. All 4 of them supposedly proved that we live on a globe Earth, even though that we use water alone just to level buildings, and the majority of the realm is water, right? But Jaron somehow was able to prove that it's a ball, right? Go watch the documentary. I'll even promote people, go to it, right? I don't care. Go to it and absolutely watch what Jaron did. And Bob, his cohort, his boy, his globebuster buddy, made up the most retarded thing. He said he took a gyro. What did we call it, Jason? He mocked me. I didn't have the right name.
Yeah, it's a ring laser gyro.
A ring laser gyro that he supposedly measured the rotation of the Earth, which with probably millions of dollars way back when, Mickelson and Morley couldn't even do it, right? They had all these different experiments, and every single time they did it, they said, the only thing we can measure is the 15-degree rotation of the sky. The sky. We have devices right now that measure earthquakes. Seismometer. What is it called? I'm chewing on my words here. What was that device that was called tiltometer?
Tiltometer, yeah.
Tiltometer. The tiltometer, they have these things that are so precise right now that you would be able to measure the rotation. We should be able to feel the rotation. We should be able to feel the Earth speeding up and slowing down, right? We've already shown everybody the science of how this works. These people are just ravaging liars.
All right, so I just last stopped and talked about this battle for good and evil. Now our next clip is going to be the response from this group.
You think at the gates of heaven, they're going to be welcoming RV in with open arms when he stabbed his friends in the back and people who died in the back. And he just had on his show in the back.
Right.
No, I got to jump ahead to 121, 53. Guess it jumped.
Find the creator. RV, his thing was, I was like, RV, I brought people to the creator. He goes, which one? Which one?
No, this is the wrong stamp. I got to go back to 27. Here we go.
Doing it to gain attention, like a baby reaching into his shit-filled diaper and then smearing it all over the wall.
And the only Christian I know that didn't act like that and didn't do those kind of things is Rob Skiba.
Rob Skiba. Well, that's not true. There's other
Skeebers, the only good Christian, according to these guys.
Wow.
Now they're going to say, oh no, Skeebers wasn't the only good Christian. They're going to name just a couple more.
Couple more, huh?
I know that didn't act like that and didn't do those kind of things is Rob Skiba.
Rob Skiba.
Well,
that's not true. There's others. Paul on the plane.
The only one I know.
He's not the only one.
Paul on the plane. Robbie Davidson.
Paul on the plane. Oh,
Robbie, calling him a true Christian.
Robbie,
that's good.
You know, I want to stick up a little bit for Robbie, even though he might be one of them. There's a good chance he is.
The Pope of Flat Earth. He was in the mockumentary as the Pope.
I know, but you know, I like the way that he danced. He did have like another side to him. I'm just being honest. when he got up there, he did some cool dances. He was able to do some.
That seriously.
Okay, and he never called anybody really a shill. He wasn't rude to anybody. These are the things that Robbie had that was good. He did try to promote the flat earth a lot, right? He because when Robbie showed up the flat earth, he instantly went up to 10,000 subscribers. I remember all of a sudden Robbie Davidson comes out of nowhere and he's doing a 10,000 subscriber thank you video. And he put in a lot of work. He did a lot of podcasts. He promoted flat earth a lot, but unfortunately it was used to absolutely railroad it into the ground, right? And to turn people to believe that the Bible was tied to the AE map, which absolutely doesn't match scriptures. There's scripture after scripture that says the earth has 4 corners to it, right? The AE map is a circle with an ice ring, right? The problem is that they talk about, then he set the bounds. He told the water the command that it shall not pass. And so these material reductionalists, these satanic Kabbalists, have to take that in their head as if it's some physical thing that they're reading in the scriptures, when it's actually the width and breadth of the realm was where the boundaries were set, right? And what happens at these places is you continue to go back to where you started from. That's the way the simulation works. That you can actually replicate that very easily in a simulator. Go figure that you can design something on how it actually works. And what they constantly want to promote material reductionists. That's what these people are. They're material reductionists. They want you to think everything is solid and hard and this and that. And really what they're doing is just boxing you in. The AE map is probably an idol, right? That, sort of traps your mind. That's what the actual agenda behind it. That's why they put the laurel wreath around it, and they use it as if you guys don't know, the United Nations, if you go into the library at the head United Nations, it's filled with satanic books. Right? This is the devil's team. This is Church of Satan. That's who these people are. The AE map is just part of it.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Effed up world.
Good point.
Yeah,
Good point.
yeah.
Good point.
So many
Effed
others.
up world. Okay, pause it. Effed up world is a flat earther that believes that Elon Musk is the Antichrist and that he's actually flying up to the ISS with his rockets. and he's doing the signs in front of man. He is doing signs. He is doing CGI. It's so bad. It's so fake that they say that it's real. It looks so fake that it has to be real because they could do a way better job with the CGI. That's what Elon Musk says. So effed up world is a Christian that we called out. He had the satanic swirl, a pedometer symbol, behind him when he came out as this. First, he came out with Adam Fink, Parable of the Fig Tree Vineyard. He came out on that channel. He was there. They did these baptism things. And keep in mind, the Parable of the Vineyard team are with Rob, Torah believers. But you don't hear any of them doing any of this, right? No, none of it. So, again, everything ties back together with Rob. Absolutely was not. So, effed up world. I'll keep it back on him. We covered it. He was promoting this guy that was saying that the Book of Enoch was a joke. He was yoked up with Nathan Roberts. That's probably another name that you're going to hear. That's a guy that was trying to sell an atomizer to fight the Cerveza, a truther that was selling products, and he's yoked up with the military. All these people are military type people. Richie said it, right? The military admitted we're going to infiltrate the truther movement. We're going to shill online. Richie literally told everybody that this is what was happening.
It's called asymmetric warfare that they do online. So we got more.
And they know who they are.
And those are the people that bring other people closer to what they believe. They help people find the creator. RV, his thing was, I was like, RV, I brought people to the creator. He goes, which one? Which one?
Yeah. Super important point.
Yes, very important.
And that's the reason why you can't go around using the word God. Well, I believe in God. There is absolutely no distinction in the word God. That could be yourself. That could be the TV. It could be any person. It could be any entity. It is absolutely, completely undefined, other than to look up its etymology and find out that it's Germanic pagan that came about 600 years after Christ. And the most likely etymology of it is that it's God. Godriel.
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 Godreel. Right?
The Satan that deceived Eve. So we can't let people say, well, I believe in God, because, no. All right, you believe in the devil? Okay, that's good. Well, who's the creator then?
Because it's really easy to find that most transliterations used to have it right. They had YHWH as the name, which is Yahawah, the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. The name that he told Moses was most likely, from our research, Yahawah. That was his name. And he said it means I exist. Like I'm real. I'm here for you. I exist. Now, I don't want to use I'm real. That's the shills line. I want to take that back, rewind. He said, I exist, right? Therefore, you exist now. Right? You first needed to have someone exist to teach you that you're in existence. These are the foundations that are most important. And if someone comes to you and say, oh, I believe in a God, the first thing that you want to ask them is which one? And what evidence do you have that your God is the real God? Right? These are not even the word God, the creator. Which creator is it that you have? Because the one that we have, the scriptures that we teach, that we share, have mysteries. Parables explained. They have these things that have been foretold that have gone on for the thousands of years that we can line up with actual physical observations too. That it's very easy to teach people that, yes, the flood did happen roughly, I believe, 3,500 years ago. And there's evidence of seashells on the top of Mount Everest. These are things that I bring as evidence. There's mountains where Yahawah came down and the scriptures somebody wrote it down, that the mountain blazed. He was a blazing fire that came down. There's evidence of those mountains charred, right? There's salt pillars, there's basalt, and there's evidence of destruction of the Sodom and Gomorrah. It's all over the place. You can go to these different places and you can see it. You can see it for yourself. These are the things that we stand upon. And then when you actually start to read the scriptures, and it explains how the pen fell, why we're here, the redemption plan, right? The Christ was born and raised just a regular man. There was no 1,000-person ceremony on his birth. They didn't, swaddle him in fine linens or anything. He was just placed in a manger, in a rock manger. He was put in a manger just like one of us. And he's the most written about avatar that ever lived, the one that redeemed us, right? And if you don't have that as your foundation, then you're missing the point of what the simulation was about. Right? He was an example about how we were all going to be made righteous again. Through the 6,000 years, we fell, we did the wrong thing, and we were learning to become better people, to love each other better, to go through these experiences over and over again. And the wicked ones, they're continuing to do the same wicked things. It says when Adam was created, the different parts of Adam were created, the angels that helped do the work, right, realized that he was now the king and lord over them, and they fell. They were instantly jealous, envious, angry, and they made a plan to destroy Adam and his descendants. That was their whole entire plan. And it's absolutely the most obvious thing today is we have the same teams still doing the same thing. The only difference is one actually has evidence. The other one just comes out and does all the satanic stuff and says, well, we're just desensitizing you to it. They've got the pyramid, the all-seeing eye pyramid thing, and the pedometer swirl on Earth. And Jaren's is a globe. Like, you have to be stupid to not see that is not an AE map. That is not a stereographic map. You can literally see how they've curved the land masses. That's supposed to be all the continents, like a Pangea type map. You'd have to be an idiot to not see that it's a globe. Jaren's got a globe on the screen. It's right in front of you. And it literally says the Jesuit, the witch. So we can continue tonight. I'm sorry for rambling, but these guys have had this coming for a long time, and we don't share with you guys everything that we know. What's the point of me even coming on here?
All right. So we are currently in Dave's state of, he's upset that he's having the screws put to him as to who he serves, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, which one? I like my answer when I said, you want to know what I believe? None of your fucking business.
I love that.
He hated that. He ran with that and said, oh, this is because he knows it's Satan or something.
And then, you want to know what I believe? It's none of your effing business. And this is supposed to be your truth leader movement, right? You want to know what I believe? It's none of your business. Buy my app.
Pale blue dot, right? You're just a tiny blue dot. That's what it says on his shirt.
That if something's on the news, it has to be fake. I get the premise. We get it. Yeah, most of what the news gives you is fake. But sometimes, if somebody dies that's prominent, they're going to say he died. And in your world, they can't have died. So,
and if you've ever been an actor, it doesn't mean you're a bad person.
And remember when he said,
been on CBS, you're not a bad person.
Karen, I think it was on one of our shows.
An actor, you're not bad. On CBS, that's Pat. She's talking about himself, whatever.
A bunch of them.
Yeah. Because, ABC, CNN, Alex Jones, we've got so many of those outlets covered right here in this group right now. We'll keep going.
Shows. We had RV on, and he said, if
they're going to talk about their outlets that they work through.
anyone goes on Alex Jones, they're a shill, 100%, no exception.
Dave went on Alex
Nobody.
Jones, right? So did Alex. Alex and Dave both went on the Alex Jones show, right?
They're going to be admitting all that right now. So we're playing their words. We're not speculating. We're not making things up. We're literally just showing you what they're saying about where they've been, what they've done.
He gets on there, then I got on there. Right? He goes, well, and now Alex is on there a half a dozen times.
But now he's right. Now he's proven right. So see, that's what you missed out.
Right. Yeah. And now we're supposedly going to be streaming on one of his on band.tv.
Band.video, yeah. He's
Band.video.
But this is the guys, we can leave it on these two things. Rob Skiba, who's the most professional Christian flat earther. This
professional Christian flat earther. He's saying that this guy was a Mason on the most amount of TV sets and ran the most amount of conventions. That's what he considers to be professional.
This guy won't even say his name correctly, calls him Skiba, and says that his wife is pretending that her husband is dead. That is about as cowardice as it gets. And then on top of that, a guy that was on a show not 6 months ago, I believe like a month ago, 2 months ago, Mac Parhar, a guy who died under,
talked to him the day before.
Literally talked to him for an hour the day before, and then before his body is even cold, he's saying that it's a death hoax. So this is the type of guy he is. He's an opportunistic loser, in my opinion. I hate to be like that, RV, because I know you've been doing this for a long time, but that doesn't give you the ability to just totally throw everybody under the bus as soon as they die. For me, that's when you lift somebody up, because they can't speak for themselves. They can't defend your allegations.
And there's no Masons out there faking deaths and then saying, let's have the funeral at 3:30. This is the way we code it.
He said that I made arrangements to do a show with him at 3:30.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. Everybody made their arrangements for 3:30. Jaron has right now in his OBS starts at 5:33. Like, they literally do this all the time.
He lives in California. I live on Central Time in Houston, Texas.
So you were just asking.
Which is 5:30, which is when I used to always do Flat Earth and Other Hot Potato shows.
No,
it's not 3:30.
Let's jump ahead a couple clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I say it's 3:30. Was it A, I'm a Mason, B, because it was fucking 3:30?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's definitely.
I looked at my watch. It was 3:30. I was like, all right, I still got some time. I think I got to go to the other side because I'm going to be burnt. I'm going to be like a black and white cookie. Oh,
only
duality.
You said
duality.
Duality.
Watch it.
Wait.
Black and white cookie. All right, so Ronnie and I have been looking at a lot of the pedometer symbols, and that one right there would be that makes the pedometer go off really bad. There is a tie-in to this that Mark Sargent went through a time period where all he could talk about was Oreo cookies.
True.
It might be more than just the black and white people. It might be more than that.
Well, are we getting into his logo?
Let's see where we're at.
Not yet. That's the next stream.
Yeah.
But he doesn't show it, I don't think, right?
All right. They're going to try to co-opt the Freemason terms back to them right there.
Can we play a quick game earlier? Turns going around naming things. And we're going to take turns going around naming things that we can no longer say or show. Like, nobody can have black and white tiles. Karen?
Nobody can cover one eye. Or
No.
Okay, that's it.
Nobody can stand on a ladder backwards. Oh, and I want to make this clear. Hey, I took it back. I don't think RV's a shill. I'm not calling RV. I think RV's just a guy trying to create content.
agreed.
I don't think he's a shill.
I don't think so.
Defending RV now. He's not a shill.
Yeah. I mean, even though he has every definition,
I think
he has every definition. He's just a
He has every definition, but they're all saying no. He's definitely not a shill.
You can't wear orange. Is it my turn? Can't ever wear orange again.
Can't wear orange.
Guys, we like all these inside jokes because nobody else gets them unless you're in the club, unless you know what you've looked into this stuff. Well, I'm just saying, there's a reason why we know what all the symbols is, because we've spent hours researching and reading about it. So that's why we like to use it, not because we're satanic, because it's funny inside jokes. Like, give me a break.
All right, so that is the guy who literally came out and showed his Freemason card on camera. We'll see how far we get tonight. But yeah, he came out and showed his business card with his picture on it, his name, and he's a Freemason. He's absolutely 100% wide open about that. He's not hiding it at all. And he's telling you, yeah, the signs, the symbols. Oh, it's just fun, though. It's just fun. No, they had to learn all these things as part of their initiation rites, and now they're trying to indoctrinate people into using them. It's like their game that they're playing.
And were you at the conference where we're...
Let's see, I think we can jump ahead to... There we go.
Flat Earther, you love the camaraderie, because in the real world, when you're not together with the other Flat Earthers, for the most part, you're alone. And so getting together and having these little symbols, it does sort of, kind of throw it back in the face of the people that
makes more sense
do these things.
Than this he posted on the screen here that this person says.
Mad. But being a Christian, being a Flat Earther is kind of like Jesus. We have a big cross to bear. And I mean that. I'm serious. Yeah, really. I mean, it's not easy to say, oh, I don't believe we're on a spinning ball. It's like, give me a break. If you're just going to say that alone, then it takes balls and cojones. We should be helping each other out instead of
what the right...
Let me jump a couple clips. Here we
go. It might be like that. It's funny.
But Globers do this.
I have another one of one of the things we're not allowed to do anymore.
Oh, yes, please.
In the book of RV.
Remind me.
And that is be a real woman. You can't be a real woman.
Nope.
You've got to be a witch, or you've got to be transgender. You can't just be a real woman.
So... According to RV now, you either have to be a witch or a Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? Can anybody see what's happening to real women in this group? They're absolutely being shunned. Absolutely being shunned. This is a boys' club with a lot of gay jokes.
He was on the show for a second.
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. That's on the screen. I didn't mean to bring that up.
Oh, my God.
Richie, and for Richie from Boston, is it the last day? We have the last chance. You got to buy the stuff.
Buy the Patriot Supply now.
It's so weird to see him here.
We can jump ahead a few here.
Sad. You can't give an RV. How many times do we have RV on Monday Night Raw, Dave? We just let him come on whenever he had something to talk about. We had good conversations with him, and then to be... have your back I
remember back years and years ago.
Stabbed in the back. So that's what they say. We're helping these people along, and then we got stabbed in the back. I'm sure Jaron would say we stabbed him in the back. This is just the games that the Freemasons are playing here. Now they're gonna do their first little bit of exposing. Let's go to a 135.10. Now they're going to go after Richie. So Richie was with RV when these people were being called out. So now it's their turn to take shots at Richie.
I mean, because it was in your face funny. Like, man, it's a pay people that would say otherwise. And I just thought it was shocking and surprising.
But we don't pick and poke at everybody. I mean, look, I could say about Richie from Boston. Look, he's got 3 eyes here and 3 eyes, 33. He's wearing the 33 glasses.
Double glasses.
Yeah.
Just because you know the Earth is not a spinning.
All right, so this is all set up. Richie's got the double sunglasses on the forehead, eyeglasses. Jaron points out that this is 333 symbolism, which obviously it is. People don't put sunglasses on their foreheads at night. Right, this is part of a setup so that Jaron could come along and say this about Richie. So they're going through a ritual right now where they're exposing each other. Now what we're doing is watching both sides and taking the overstanding position of showing that they're all Satanists, all same team.
Getting bald didn't put you in a moral superiority group. We got to be nice to the other people too. I hate that. That's another problem in this truth community. Is now that we know that we think we have the secret knowledge, we think we're better than other people. We're not. And RV is the definition of somebody that thinks because he has secret knowledge that now he's better or superior than other people that don't have that knowledge.
All right. So there is a position that truthers hold, and that is that Earth is fixed and immovable. So that does separate us from a whole bunch of people in the world. Where does it make us smarter than them? Not necessarily smarter, but you're definitely holding on to a foundational truth that other people that don't understand how Earth is fixed and immovable are at a loss. So there is an overstanding position there, and we've gotten to the point now where in the truth community, you can't be labeled a truther anymore unless if you're out there explaining to people that Earth is fixed and immovable. Right? You just have zero credibility. If we were to go debate Brian from High Impact Flicks on something, the first thing we would do is establish that he doesn't even have any concept of the reality that he's in if he thinks he's on a spinning ball. All right, so that's the first way to kick the legs out from underneath somebody. And so the whole truther thing, there's going to be more timestamps coming up. We went through them with Jake the Asshole about how this information has gotten out. It's gotten to a critical point now where they can't put it back, the genie back in the bottle, and people know. So now they're trying to destroy the truth community from within.
Knowledge, like the people he's trying to expose, the Illuminati. So give me a break.
He exposed a lot of events. That's where I think he excels, when there's like events that I might have even thought were real on the surface, and then I see him break it down and I'm like, wow, I can totally
but now how do you think about it? Don't you think about it a little different when you got you wrong, you got Dave wrong, you got Alex wrong, you got me wrong, you got Karen wrong.
So RV was just a hoaxer, and they were okay with him as a hoaxer, but no, because he's come out against them. They don't trust him anymore. Let's go to 136.30.
Doubt.
And I don't think people realize that, because only we know ourselves, right? So if just imagine for a second, audience, that you're me, and I just live at home with my wife and my son, and I like to do this, and I like to speak my mind, and I like to make videos. Okay, great. That's it. So when Jake the Asshole claims that I'm some Freemason or something, or you name it, RV, any of these guys, when Eric Dubé claims I stole $80,000, all it does is make me turn off those guys forever. Because
so when people call him out for being a liar, for being a thief, the only thing that does to Jaron is he decides to turn you off. He's not going to listen to you anymore if you're not going to talk nice about him. That's his technique. All right.
Because if they can't get that right, and this is why you never hear me call anybody a shill. Because the second I do, if that person...
You'll never hear me calling somebody a shill. So, yeah. If you live in a glass house, you don't throw stones, right?
I'm trying to let us get through some of these clips without speaking, because I was derailing the conversation too much. But I really have to say something here.
Yeah.
Jaron's putrid, wimpy, weak excuse to try to say that anybody calling anyone out a shill is super shilly, right?
Yeah.
A truth fears no investigation, Jaron. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Truth fears no investigation. If you're not a shill, you'll be found out to be innocent of being accused of being a shill. I don't care if someone wants to call me a shill. Show me the evidence. Play my words. Show my symbolism that you guys all have. And then I'll have to change my ways if I'm doing that, right? But don't come out and say that anyone calling out shills is shilly, because that's absolutely what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to check everything out, research everything. We live in this crazy world where everything's burning down, but Jaron doesn't want... If you call someone a shill, I'm not going to watch you anymore. Yeah, that's the absolute most cowardly, weak thing I've heard him say tonight.
We got a statement from Pat coming.
He said I deleted the Etsy store, but now I have a Poshmark. Well, he didn't say I have a Poshmark. I'm telling you, there's a Poshmark for A Girl Is a Gun, which is not owned by me. Why doesn't somebody, all the Christians who believe all that's true, email the Poshmark person and have a conversation with the Poshmark, ask what their name is. Of course, it could be me pretending, but you
That got a chuckle, huh? So All these false accusations. Send an email to Poshmark or whatever.
I admit it could be me, though.
It could be me, though. Get out of here. That's just... All right, so we can go to 140.25.
Question. Look at these two guys here. I'm wearing the COVID 1984 shirt. Rick Hammer. We're holding Coronas.
Nobody's ever even seen that picture. What does he think it was set up to be? Like, what is the use of Masons doing this?
Yeah, I
don't understand how this is a Masonic picture.
I don't get it.
Well, because being backwards on a ladder is Masonic.
How come?
Don't wear sandals though, so you know.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a dumb thing, right? But RV showed it. I wouldn't have known it, but it is a Freemasonic ritual. This standing on a ladder backwards, and they got all their 33s, and it is. It really is. So you can tell that right now there's a whole bunch of people getting promoted. You know, Rob Skiba got promoted. Mac Parhar got promoted. You can see that RV's getting a promotion. Alex is getting a promotion. Everybody's getting stepped up right now, and they're going through their initiations. Let's go to 141.12.
Good mix up. Just
and I'm going to say, everybody go sub RV. We all need comedy in our lives, and we all love train wrecks. So go sub RV.
And RV, please make as many videos of me as possible. I actually enjoy it. It's just only helping me. So talk about me all you want. I want all the smoke. And I'm not kidding. So bring it on.
I think we should set up a wallet, too, for RV, and we'll all send him some cryptocurrency. It'll sit there. And this way, when the dollar crashes, he'll realize, oh, shit, I guess it is a good thing that somebody put some crypto away for me. Because otherwise, it's the mark of the beast. It's coming. It's going to get you. And it's the doing away with the cash society. These people are too afraid, and we're not going to get very far.
Well, hey.
All right. So they set up a cryptocurrency thing for RV. They told you to go sub RV. Do you still think that they're fighting each other, or could this possibly be COINTEL doing a fake fight, shadowboxing each other? They're setting up a fund for them, telling everybody to go sub them. This is a joke. Let's see, 114 or 144 is 16. Past that, 56.
That's why we need to beat them to it.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, the government, the Janet Yellen version of crypto is going to be,
Well, it should be obvious that that's not real cryptocurrency, right? Because it's going to come from a central bank.
A ledger, yeah.
So you better learn crypto now. You better learn how it works now.
We're going to jump ahead here. 4307.
To say to
somebody
RV,
said nobody's died of COVID on this panel, which is great.
I have this to say to
Thank
RV,
you.
as a human being to another human being, we had private conversations, RV.
That's fucked.
And then you stabbed me in the back. You didn't reveal any truth. You lied. Disappointed in you as a person. Disappointed. You deserve to give me an apology on video and actually include all of us in that video. Wow. Other than that, I don't want to see any video from you ever again. I have no interest in your content because your content,
so fake.
Because of your poor research, is all bullshit.
Oh, what?
Good. Anybody else?
Excuse me?
Oh, I'm gonna.
Excuse me. Wait a second. These are people telling you that everything that Russian vids shared is bullshit, right? But they haven't provided one refutation, not one screen share of anything. Anything. She just simply said, so I'm likening unto this as I'll give Math, the wizard he used to call himself. He's most like a Church of Satan member, ex-failed actor, Math Powerland. He said it's like when you can go to Alaska and you can look across the Bering Strait in certain spots and you can see Russia. It's like 40 miles away. There's mountains or something over there. You can see it. Jared and them were saying, no, you can't. You're like, I could see it, Jared. I'm looking at the mountain. Here, do you want my binoculars? Here's my P1000. Zoom in and look at it yourself. He's going to say, no, that's your P1000 seeing it's a mirage. They're literally saying that you can't see any of the Satanism when they just exposed it all. Russian vids showed it all. I don't understand how she could say everything's bullshit. And that's supposed to be enough evidence for the investigator out here looking for truth that sees these people hoisted in the mainstream media. They railroaded the flat earth movement into the ground, and they do nothing but promote Aleister Crowley and Satanism, but everything that Russian Vid said was a lie.
Well, let's listen to the next clip, and it's going to get more confusing.
Sister looks almost exactly like her with different color hair.
That's
So
what I'm saying. She might be a liar.
She might be.
I think about that one.
This is the thing: is not everything RV says is bad. We like
No,
that.
that's the
Everything
thing.
is wrong. He gets some right.
Hey, we're not saying that. We're not saying
and
that.
we like that speculation.
Yep.
We like that, stuff. That is fun. But to personally attack people and call them
In the
things they're
community.
not,
Right.
especially
Yeah,
guests
yeah.
that were on your show, people that were nice to you. Other
Well, we are not the
Christians.
enemy. We're
Right.
here trying
Exactly.
to expose all the same stuff.
And he knows us. How long has he known
what
us?
Is the deal?
That's
well,
going
he did
full.
say something very telling. He did say that he never attacks anybody as long as they're nice to him.
Yeah, and that's not true because I
So-
went on.
So they're like, no, he's great. He's great. Oh, I really hope people are seeing the same team here. I don't know how you couldn't. Darren's going to go on to really make it obvious.
On there and I was talking about Richie from Boston and I didn't say anything to
Right.
RV and then he kicked me out of his chat.
Well, the thing
hey,
is
a
that
week ago
all
I was a
did was
patron.
say that
A week ago as a Patreon. You hear this? A Patreon, paying.
Oh, I hear it. He's
A week ago as a Patreon.
trying to cause division.
Say anything to
Right.
RV and then he kicked me out of his chat.
Well, the thing
is
a
that
week ago
all
I was a
did was
patron.
say that I agreed with Jaron and he kicked me out.
I was a patron. I gave that guy money every month and he kicked me out of his chat and I pulled the
Does it mean
patronage.
that if
He pulled it. Couple more clips here in this one. They really stacked him into this hangout. This one, everybody is loaded. The other ones don't have as much of this. We're at 154.15.
Yeah, about all tips go to Rob Skiba family just this one time. Thanks everyone. Good show. Yeah, did they set up a GoFundMe or anything? Anybody know?
No, she set up a donation link before he passed away.
What? You know what's funny? When Sandy Hook happened, David Weiss was the one that set up the GoFundMe for, what was his name? He came from Florida. What was his? How could I be drawing a blank right now? I'm so embarrassed. He was like the school. He was like a security guard. Wolfgang Halbag. Right. David Weiss was the guy that brought him to Sandy Hook, drove him around the town and set up the GoFundMe for Wolfgang Halbag. If anyone knows anybody about that, it's funny that now we got David Weiss. Look at the smile on his face. Look at this. Look at the handler's face.
Yeah, she set up the donation page before he died. Let's go to 157.40.
RV tried to
Think about it right now. They're ready
to.
They're ready to stick this needle, this untested goo, in your 5-year-old children, and yet we have truthers out there that think it's more important to point out that Brian sells a solar cooker. I mean, our priorities are fucked.
I bought 2 of them.
They've bought 2 of them. So the solar cooker thing comes up. It was in last night's hangout a bunch. It's something that Richie and Brian from Low Impact Flicks. Everybody ends up referring to it as a hot dog cooker or a weenie roaster. Right, so it's not so much about it being a handy outdoorsy type thing. It's the language that's used around it. It seems coded and gross. And then Dave had to point out that he bought 2 of them. He's going to back that up. And so we're at 158.03. Let's 2 more links here.
Shit goes left, It might be
sorry,
nice
everybody
to have
thinks that.
something.
So stock up on hot dogs. You'll be ready.
Yeah,
All right, so this goes back to that hot dog conversation. Pat had to throw that in there. Does anybody remember that Pat's a vegan? She said, stock up on those hot dogs, and then leans in with a big grinning smile. Like, watch Pat's delivery here.
it might be nice
everybody
to have
thinks that.
something.
So stock up on hot dogs. You'll be ready.
Yeah, not hot dogs. I would never put a hot dog in there.
No, that's gross.
And this community, I'm not saying we.
That's gross. And then this is the last clip here. We're going to end it with Pat. See what you got, Pat.
It's not like an exciting thing like, let's have some fun, let's get up there, and we just have to do it. And
by the way, am I a super surprise shill like on the thumbnail? Because
no, that's us tonight, Pat.
Sure.
Both of those are outlines of men, and you know what they're going to say.
I
saw what you did there.
Who is it? He goes, I don't know.
Trap,
Whoever
Patricia.
shows up. Party.
Oh, come on. We saw what you did. You're not funny, but kind of funny.
one more time. Like,
I'm going to mute again because I don't want to laugh over it.
And
by the way, am I a super surprise shill like on the thumbnail? Because both of those are outlines of men, and you know what they're going to say.
Oh, man. It's
Jaron, I asked Jaron when he made the thumbnail, who is it? He goes, I don't know.
Trap,
Whoever
Patricia.
shows up. Party League is going to show up. I don't want to throw him under the bus. And
all right. So that is the end of that stream. Now we've got the Baby Truther show from 11/11 that we would like to go to. I need to grab something to drink. You want to just take the mic for a second, brother, and I'll be right back?
Sure. How's everybody in the chat doing? I'll jump in and see what you guys are up to. Yeah, this is, sometimes we get to laugh, we get to have a good time, but at the end of the day, we are absolutely warning people. Making sure I got this up. I'm warning people that choose what you allow into your consciousness. Make your own decisions when you see content, when you hear the words coming out of people's mouths, when you see the iconography that people share. These are the things that you want to see, the content of their heart, and focus on it clearly, right? I know what I want to choose in my reality, right? I know the things that my heart desires. So you'll see that throughout the content that I produce. And all I want you guys to do is to look at these people, listen to the words that they talk about, and see the content that their heart's producing, and choose who you want to be with. We're not telling you guys not to go over and check out these channels. Go over and see if you can find all the different Satanism stuff that they do, because Jason and I have seen it all. And most importantly, I think protect the youth. I think we need to be the teachers of the youth. I don't want them learning AE map stuff. I don't want them learning infinite pawn theories, which David has already been called out multiple times for teaching youth, younger people, younger minds, nonsense. We want to teach people things that are practical, things that you can actually empower yourself with, how to free yourself. We don't want to teach people heliocentric Kabbalism, flat earth. Okay. And we don't want to mock truthers, calling them babies. Like, I don't understand the symbolism and the iconography that these people are promoting here. It's gross. And I'm not a subscriber. The only reason why we're here is because all this needs to be called out, because it absolutely does verify everything we've been saying all along. When they try to take that away from us, but we still have all the timestamps and the evidence.
All right. So I'm just letting everybody see here. This is the Baby Truther show, number 28 on 11/11 from Darrenism. And so we just had Pat as a special guest in the last one. Now we've got Daniel Pratt. Now, these happen to be characters that we know everything that they ever did on YouTube, like during this whole beginning of the flat earth period. A lot of people aren't going to know who Pat is. A lot of people aren't going to know who Daniel is. So we're here right now to help you understand. So here's where Dan's getting introduced. I think we can go back just a click. Oh, now we have to wait for it to reload.
You can never trust a man next to a water heater, because that's where
All right, yeah, the water heater thing. So it's Daniel Pratt's shtick is to sit in front of the water heater.
That's what I'm saying. What is going on? You can never trust a man next to a water heater, because that's where a lot of insurance fraud goes down around water heaters, a lot of explosions, stuff like that. You never know. He can rig that thing, and next thing you know, we got a baby 9/11 going on. So be careful. But welcome to the show, Dan. Happy to have you.
All right, so Dan's here now.
Thanks for having me on.
Good. Yep. And we've got Dave Weiss in the house, the Mason himself.
Dave Weiss, the Mason himself. Like, is that funny? Is he taking the piss out of it, or is he telling you the truth? Well, everything that we're showing you is that he's telling you the truth. So let's jump ahead to 650.
The main reason I brought Dan on is because Dan is a man that.
So Dave is in a position where he can just bring people on. I'm going to bring Pat on. I'm going to bring Dan on. He's going to bring on Brian from High Impact Flicks or RV. He can just, I'm going to bring this person on, bring that person on. Do you see that he's like a handler or agent or boss of this whole crew here?
That is willing to admit that he's wrong. I'm not asking him to admit anything today, by the way, but I've seen Dan go, you know what? I did that and I wish I didn't do that. I've changed my mind. His channel's been deleted. He probably holds the record for the most number of deleted channels. Your channel used to be called Dan Pratt's Next Deleted Channel. Is that correct?
That was about the 25th, 26th. Yeah. It just kind of became a joke at that point.
But Dan comes out with these rants. I featured one of them on the app recently, maybe like a week ago or less. And he comes out with these heartfelt, rants. First, I want to ask you,
heartfelt rants. So that's like if we were back on the other hangout where they have the different things. Dan's the heartfelt rant guy. This is his job. This is what he was brought in for, to be the heartfelt rant guy.
When you, like that last rant, for example, did you just think of it all of a sudden? Did you ponder it all day long? I snapped my fingers, by the way, so don't fall into a trance. That was just a thing. Okay.
Wait, but why did you guys say that I was going?
Where does Dan's rants come from? Let's jump ahead to 928.
The past is the past. The present is now. The present is a present, and the future is unknown. So I don't remember all of the things that you did, but I know that you went after me. I know that you went after Sharon. I know that you went after other friends of the show, Patricia, Mark. I don't know who else you went after. You went after a whole bunch of people. I've forgotten all of them. How do you feel about that? And then we could just move on.
How do you feel about that? Brother, could you speak to, let's see, what was it?
So they just want to close the book now. That's it. We've gone through it all. It's over. Is that what David's saying?
All right. Well, give people a little bit of background as far as Dan Pratt and who he was calling out, where you saw him in the scene.
So Dan Pratt came onto the scene as an outspoken guy ranting from his garage, right? I even made a few videos with him in it because, he did a good job actually doing some heartfelt rants, right? It was cool. Here we were telling Dan about all these people being satanic shills, right? Dan all of a sudden calls out Patricia Steere, causes all this huge division, stands against her, blah, blah, blah. Time goes on. Dan starts to get a little bit weaker. Now Dan's a Christian, right? And all of a sudden someone's funding his videos. He's getting like work tools and he's building cool stuff for the other people in the AE map and model crew. And then Dan just basically faded away. His content just lacked anything that it had at one point. The best thing that he ever did was he spun, what was it, like a dodgeball, and he showed how it would, warp. It was probably the best video Dan ever did. It absolutely just trolled the living daylights out of the heliocentrists. So Dan actually has done some decent work. He does seem to have a good heart. And, he's definitely one of them.
So here comes Dan's answer to Dave.
Yeah. And first of all, more than anything, I've been a raving lunatic on YouTube for 7 years straight.
Lunatic.
That's consistent. Yes.
How flat earth gets foisted on us, and I didn't have any handbook on how all this goes. And I'll tell you what, in my life before YouTube, out of YouTube, I hung with some crazy people, some gang members, some heavy drug addicts, some crazy people. They're model citizens compared to a lot of people I've met on YouTube.
Gang members, drug addicts, better than this crew, right? So one of the things we've pointed out to people is the Freemasons are the organizers, a lot of those motorcycle gangs, and they run like cartels through them. Let's jump ahead to 1128.
good content that way. And I like that. I want people to do that. The best content is the stuff that comes from your heart. And you're somebody that speaks from your heart, whether your heart is insane or not. You know, at the moment, you're just speaking from the heart. I get it.
Just a heart speaker. Had to bring on the heart speaker, even if he's insane. All right, so we have Ronnie. We get some heartfelt rants out of him. No scripts necessary. Daniel Pratt here has to be tied to a network, and he's been absolutely a nothing burger for years now, and all of a sudden he gets called up by Dave because they're drawing their lines. They're pulling their teams together and reorganizing right now.
So during this whole thing, you became a Christian.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what were you before that? Were you anti-religion?
I was raised Christian, as so many of us. I went to church. I didn't. It was a Sunday kind of a ritual we went through. I went there. Everybody at church was kind of cool, you know, but I was never really deeply religious. I was kind of a fair-weathered Christian growing up.
Did you ever try Scientology, Dan?
No.
Never fucked with L. Ron Hubbard, just read his book and then...
All right, let him finish, Alex. Let him finish.
So, you know, I was pretty much I was an athlete, junkie in school. You know, sports were my drug all through high school and that.
Oh, I thought you were an athlete and a junkie. And you were an athlete junkie. An athlete junkie. I got it.
Sports, yeah. And so,
So Dave just said that right there. Athlete junkie or athlete and junkie. And now Dan's going to go into more detail.
Sports were my drug. And so, yeah, how many people manipulate that little clip? Huh?
Not a junkie that's an athlete. He's just a sports junkie.
Just a sports junkie. Now, let's hear what Dan has to say.
He used to shoot heroin right on the field.
He used to shoot heroin right on the field. So that's not being a sports junkie. That's being into sports and being a junkie.
So fast.
So anyways, you know, I got lost for a long time. I became, you know, pretty much a functioning alcoholic. I always worked in that, but, you know, I used to do my partying and go in, and there wasn't a lot of drugs I didn't want to experiment with and check out and do all that. I never became a hardcore drug addict.
How is this relevant to the truth movement?
Let's just say I didn't live.
If I'm going to be honest, Daniel, you still give a drug addict vibe with that background, to be honest. I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm just saying it's funny. I mean, that background has this drug addict vibe. But
no.
So hold on. So what we're getting is Dan's script, right? Here's Dan's story. He's the ex-drug addict. That's the flat earther from his garage.
That's the narrative. It's really weak. Let's jump ahead to 1432.
So just real quick, you became a Christian, and how did that change your life? What did you become? You know, I see you. What the things that I see in you are, you're a passionate guy. You love expanding flat Earth. Sometimes you get sidetracked in like, oh, this person, that person. But I think you're a good guy. That's why I invited you on, because I'm talking to Daniel Pratt right now. I'm not talking to the Daniel Pratt 5 years ago that called me names that made me cry. All right? Sure. I'm talking to Daniel Pratt right now.
He never made...
All right, so... Well, we getting the setup right now for Dan being the next big flat Earth Christian? Is Dan going to be put on the list with Effed Up World and RV now?
Yeah, I guess so. That's the unveiling here, right? He made David cry, though. He was so mean.
Yeah.
He made me cry. He just called me. He called my wife names and made her cry. So it wasn't. At least it wasn't me.
Yeah. Well, thank God you didn't cry.
Right. No, but I agree with you. I mean, I
heard of the show with the recent, you know, situation that you guys dealt with yesterday, and I don't want to hash up. I don't want to.
We're done with it.
We're done with it. I don't want to hash it up. How long do you think they're going to be done with it, everyone? Do you think they're
One
not going to
sentence.
how long are they going to hold? To not rehashing what happened yesterday. Let's find out.
See.
What I can say is that
You can hash it up a little like Waffle House.
Yeah.
It made me embarrassed of what I used to do, to be honest. To be quite honest, the spectacle that Russian Vids put on. I'm not saying Russian Vids doesn't believe what he's saying.
You're talking about it right now. Hold on.
They didn't last long.
I'm sorry, you guys. I know I shouldn't laugh. There's so much disgusting stuff on this team, but it's so funny the way that they contradict themselves all the time. It's like, I just don't understand sometimes how this reality works. Like, it just doesn't seem right. He just said, I don't want to rehash anything about yesterday or the day before.
Then Alex goes, we'll hash it up a little bit, Waffle House. Bam, he's into it.
Boom, let's go back one more time. I'm going to mute.
Hash up. I don't want to.
We're done with it.
We got to get that whole thing.
That you guys dealt with yesterday, and I don't want to hash up. I don't want to.
We're done with it.
What I can say is that
You can hash it up a little like Waffle House.
Yeah.
It made me embarrassed of what I used to do, to be honest. To be quite honest, the spectacle that Russian Vids put on. I'm not saying Russian Vids doesn't believe what he's saying in his head, whatever. But to me, the whole Freemasonry, at best, it's anecdotal evidence that should be added on to what you can approve regarding their agendas and that.
Exactly.
If that's all you can come with to accuse someone,
that's it.
You know, the Globe Trolls, after I was done going in on you guys quite often back in the day, I started going in on the Globe Trolls, and Dan's the worst Christian ever. He's not really a Christian. Well,
we were saying that
I should be anybody's role model. I constantly tell people, make sure it's Jesus you're looking to as your role model.
Jesus. And we told Dan that the name wasn't Jesus. We shared the link with them to watch this letter J video. The J was invented 500 years ago.
Some truther, some big truther. All right.
Stuff that happened and all of the points I pointed out yesterday about RV, about, he hides his face, he causes division, I don't think he's a shill. Right? He's Russian, his logo, all the. I don't think he's a shill.
No.
I just think he's a guy.
Just a guy. He's not a shill.
That's tied up in his own mind, and that's it. God bless him. Go ahead, do your thing. I'm doing my thing.
God bless RV.
God bless him.
If you're getting that from Dave, you're in trouble. All right, 1832.
With Patricia, the interview wasn't bad. It's just all the shit.
So interview. Dave brought Pat on in the one before. Dan Pratt actually put a suit on, went to Houston, and got interviewed by Pat. And then Dan's the guy that trolled Pat and Mark and all these different characters. So the way these teams work, the COINTEL, they hire their own opposition so that they're always same team, so that they have somebody out there that's speaking against them, but they know are never going to do anything. And they make them look ridiculous. And they have
They bring them on later and they say, sorry, you were right, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Everything you said was true.
They characterize him as he's the junkie sitting by his water heater in the garage, right? So nobody's going to take them seriously ever.
Shit all the stuff that came after.
Right.
You're allowed to say shit.
And all the drama.
Well, it's like I've already seen people commenting on yesterday's show saying, I was with you guys.
So I think we can jump ahead a little bit here. We'll go to 2017.
So other than the fact that you were calling out, doing shill calling and saying negative things about people that you now know are genuine truth.
This is Rose comes in with this question. Listen to this thing.
Seekers. Was there anything else that you believed that you found to be incorrect? Like, I'm just going to give you really obvious examples. Like, let's say that you thought JFK was a really great guy and then he got assassinated and he's dead. And then other people say he was a dummy. And then or you said it was a dummy and other people thought it was real, something like that. Did you have beliefs about certain things that the community disagreed with, or was it just that you were making people, calling out other people and that was your content?
And don't get me wrong, I wasn't calling people shills just to be calling people shills. I have valid issues, and things like Behind the Curve, I think, was a travesty, a joke from the beginning. But that's what people are going to do. That's what they're going to do.
That's what they're going to do.
So I have valid issues. I think it's how I went about it more than my issues I have.
There you
go. So again, this is the argument of the losing team always. It's, well, you didn't approach me in the right way. Truth is a roaring lion. It doesn't need to be approached in any way. You speak it, right? If the other people are offended by it, they're liars.
Yeah, so he's definitely correct about Behind the Curve being a shill piece. It was a mockumentary that Robbie Davidson brought in. Was it Logan Paul? Was that the one? Or no, that's another one.
No, Robbie Davidson brought in Logan Paul, and then David Weiss got in the Logan Paul did a documentary.
No, that was to the
too.
Edge and Back, though, right?
Edge and Back was Logan Paul's documentary.
Yeah.
Right, where they psyoped the flat earth community. But it was Robbie Davidson who brought him to the flat earth. He was the special surprise speaker or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He just mocked them. And he's lucky I wasn't there. I would have thrown a pie in his face like Bill Gates got.
That were in it had no idea anything about how this stuff works, and they were made to look bad. So were you calling him out and saying, "What idiots, I can't believe they fell for it and did this propaganda," or was it something else?
I didn't know. I was at times, yes, saying, how can you not know what's going on? How can you not look at the lady doing this movie, the documentary she did about the other event in Connecticut, and not put two and two together?
Well,
how can you not put two and two together? So he's talking about the producers behind it. Already had a reputation. How could you not know that? But then you had Pat and Mark, who actually had the film crews traveling around with them, doing on-site things. And that is actually how I ended up in Behind the Curve. It's because I went to Pat's mixer, and the film crew was there, and I did a piece in front of the camera, and that made it in. It's funny that they had a whole team of people that got credit. Their IMDb is they were stars in this movie. I was there to expose Pat, and we did, and we are continuing to do so now. So let's jump ahead a little bit. Go to 55.
And I'll be, as brutally honest with myself as I am with everyone else. They have absolutely no obligation to have me on today. So it was very Christian of them to be forgiving enough to have me on, to have my piece, and do it in a peaceful way.
Very Christian.
So kudos, respect to you for having me on.
Christian, calling these guys Christian. Jared looks like he's gonna puke.
Are you calling me Christian-like? Are you calling me Christian-like? Is that what I'm hearing?
I apologize.
I apologize.
Wow.
No, you don't have to apologize for that. I like it. Listen, and here's the thing. Some people, some diehards, other diehard Christians are like, if you don't accept Jesus Christ, and do all this and blah, 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 you're going to hell. Well, guess what? I would never be here if somebody came to me with that angle. And I wish I saved all of the letters of people that said I brought them to Christ. People that become hardcore, real. I don't say real, but
I don't want to say real
Christians. So the way I got them there was I became that middleman right there, where I say, hey, look, there's a creator. Now you figure it out, and they figured it out. They figured it out in that direction. If that's then that's right for them. It'll be right for everybody. I'm not claiming anything.
I don't know.
So if that's my job and I get to go to hell for bringing all of these people to Christ, and I'm wrong, then that's my job. I will sacrifice myself for that role.
Wow.
Thank you. We
David
appreciate
Weiss.
it.
Thank you, David Weiss. That clip right there is going to go down in history. This is the guy that is selling the app, tracking you, like selling you a finder app to literally track you, right? He teaches kids heliocentric Kabbalism that he's tying into flat earth. this guy, should we get into this logo yet, or does that come up later? Because if you guys want to see what kind of a guy this is, the guy that just said he would sacrifice himself, right, to take people to Christ. Do you want to show it, or are we going to keep going? Because I can mute.
Well, you bring up a good point. So we're at 3 hours already, and let's see. We can finish this one in not too long and go into that stuff, and that'll be the end. We just won't be able to go into that other one. Because there's really not that many timestamps left in this one. We're at 25, 54. All right, so here comes a funny section. Let's keep your eye on Alex, everyone. I'm gonna move this for the time being so that you can keep your eyes on Alex. This should be good.
The one where he was at the courthouse, the council meeting. But I'm not doing the ones where he's making $1,000 for twerking.
No,
I'm
that's
not doing
what
that.
I'm saying. Oh. That's the one I'm saying you should say.
No.
Oh my
But
God, Angus just peed on me. Oh my God. Why did he do that? I swear to God, he just peed on me. He's never done that. Look at that. My cat, he's never done that.
He's not used.
What the fuck was that?
Let me explain. Let me work you through this.
I don't even understand what's going on here, because it really does look like the cat peed on him, but they have like scripted lines right away. You have Rose coming in. She's going to explain what happened. So they talk about the entertainment fact of all this, and Alex is quite the character, but somehow they ended up with Alex getting peed on, or at least they made it look like he got peed on during the hangout. So this is what you get from the Baby Truther show. It's a big joke. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. We got a couple things to set off the pedometer coming up. Let's go to 28. This is going to be a lot in the delivery. Just see if this sounds natural, or if they might be inferring something.
1 out of 6 interviews is pretty good.
You put it all together, and it makes what I call the awakening soup. There's some for everybody. You know, you don't like the carrots, don't eat the carrots, right? So,
I love the carrots as long as they're cooked.
I like raw carrots.
All right, so
what? That
really fell flat. He's the awakening soup, right? Awakening soup. And Jaron talks about eating cooked carrots. Dave likes them raw. One more time.
Like 1 out of 6 interviews is pretty good.
You put it all together, and it makes what I call the awakening soup. There's some for everybody. You know, you don't like the carrots, don't eat the carrots, right? So,
I love the carrots as long as they're cooked.
I like raw carrots.
That's what I say too, is let's jump ahead to 37.
So that's the one thing, is I feel like we need to draw the line when somebody lies to us. If we can prove that somebody's lying to us, that's different. That's not somebody we need to accept, and we need to just get over the fact that they have some faults. But when somebody's just being honest and they get something wrong, or they make a mistake, that's human.
All right. So Jaron's big thing is we're all human. We can make mistakes. But if they're a liar, that's where we draw the line. How many times do we have to demonstrate? We did like 4 hours last night, 3 hours tonight, of him just being a constant, nonstop liar. Huge. Being part of a team. Having a hidden agenda. All of that. So this is where people need to be called out. This is the reason why we do what we do. It'd be a lot more fun to just talk about happy-go-lucky things all the time. But if you're going to be a truther, you have to nail down the shills. That's part of the job. Let's jump ahead a little bit. It's got a little ramble here.
That we've talked.
Oh, so Rose is going to go on a tangent about how to divide the community.
You guys have been talking about since.
Is it YouTube friendly?
Yes, absolutely. I think so. I think it's good for as many people as possible. Okay, so I just wanted to say that when I first started waking up, I didn't even think about like what a content creator was. I was just looking around for information, and there were certain people that the way that they delivered the information was in such an aesthetic that I was drawn to listen to more and more, made me more interested, and it was like incorporated into my knowledge base better. So for me, that teacher, was really good at that time. And in the time, I learned a lot about having a balanced perspective. And, maybe it's good for people to meditate on interpreting on the different perspectives that you can imagine that different people have, and then just look into your heart and use your intuition. So when I'm looking at these content creators, I'm just wanting to discern the content and not what the content creator is doing, because I think it's just so important not to let personalities come into it, because everybody makes mistakes. So for me, one of the first things I ever learned about wanting to take a step forward and try to help spread the information I learned is to not bring emotion into it and just stick to the facts and not get into the politics of it. And you want to just balance between logic and, intuition. And so when you see these content creators that like you've grown to trust, and you see like maybe Masonic hand signals or something, and people start saying that that's evidence for, Illuminati confirmed. I mean, come on, guys. We need to accept the fact that us as content creators are extremely influential in this particular part of a community that is part of a greater community. And so in social engineering, the way that Bernays talked to it is that what they want to do, this is how they do it. It's all written. If you read Bernays's.
Everybody's so disinterested in what Rose has to say right now. Take a look around at everybody. They're so absolutely disinterested, but she's actually going to give the importance part right here.
Talk to it is that what they want to do, this is how they do it. It's all written. If you read Bernays's books, if you look into Tavistock, they don't even need the division. They don't need to cause the division among the people that are consuming the content. All they need to do is cause division between the leaders of those groups. So if we get Richard Simmons.
All right, so leaders of those groups, all we have to do is create division there. And that's literally what they're doing right now. The RV, Richie from Boston, Jake the Asshole, and Zoom Truth split from this group is the division that's happening at the leadership role, where then it doesn't even matter what the consumers of the content are thinking or saying. It's just the leaders themselves that are creating the division. All right, so important point. And the whole point behind this is that they don't want shill calling anymore. Nobody's to call people shills. You're not to call out the Freemasonic connections. You're not supposed to do any of that stuff anymore. Just accept them. It's probably an accident. They're probably not Masons. They're probably not secret society people. Just let all that go. So that is the timestamps for this hangout. There's the
I mean, we could keep going, but we've got so much more to go through still.
Right? Yeah. Did you want to go through the logo stuff?
I guess we could save it for the next time, because they're going to get into the logo. It really goes along with the next podcast. So I guess we'll probably, save that for when, Russian Vids is questioning David, and we'll get their words. So, just look in the chat. Make sure that everybody got the information tonight, that you can come to your own conclusions of who these people are. Oh, sorry, that's twice now. I guess every $20, huh? I kept when I go back to refresh the page, they keep kicking me off of YouTube. Yeah, it's funny, everywhere Jason and I go, we don't do anything that violates any rules, right? Neither of us have any graphic or hurtful or hateful content, yet we're censored on all these different platforms. And, the last thing that we want to do is sell you anything. We just want you guys to search for the truth, fight for freedoms with your words, with your intentions, with the things that you create. That's the most important thing. I ranted way too much tonight, but I hope I was able to add some, backstory to some of their stuff. But the key is that we've documented their own words, and I really appreciated it, and I enjoyed the time.
Yeah, me too. It's been great. So this was a double header, just because there is so much material to go through. But now we've been able to consolidate it, put just the important clips together, documenting the positions that all these shills are taking, showing the groups how they're aligned. They're telling you what it is that they're doing. It's all out there, and now it's going to be up to you decide which side are you on. Are you with the Aleister Crowley crowd, the Church of Satan, or are you with the Christian crowd? Now, don't confuse that with being an RV follower or an effed up world follower. Any of these characters, Daniel, Pratt, they're not the people that are talking about important scriptural truths. They're the ones trying to bury it. All same team. So it's been a great night. We'll probably be live again tomorrow night, but we should be on to scriptural based topics. And next week we're going into fall mode. We've got a lot of things that we're watching on for the end of this month. So we're going to be taking some time off of work so that we can really focus on the content during this time period. And you'll probably be seeing and hearing a whole bunch more of us coming up. Hopefully that's good for you. If it's not, it might be on the wrong team. But
well, either way, do what your heart wants. We're going to do what our heart wants to do.
All right. So
where did they hear this?
Only on Yahawahashai News.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I was looking for the scene that I have to move to.
So, this is evidence too. We found that we needed correction with the name that we were using. We found that there was an extra character that we didn't think needed to be silent, right? The ha sound. It's Yahawahashai News Network.
All right. So let's get out of here.
Can you break your crumbling idols and push them pieces into the sea? Can I trust you to keep my secret? I have loved in the face of God.
I didn't take I studied outside of college. I studied in college.
Oh, the black arts.
I wasn't.
So you were in a black arts academy.
Yes, that must be it.
Exposed.
Guess I've been confused this whole time. And we've got Karen B. Karen, welcome. Are you wearing a tiara? I can't really tell.
I am wearing, actually, this is a crystal crown.
Very witch-like. All right,
Yes.
so we're all playing the part.
I wanted to make sure I had my crystal crown and my crystal balls. You know, I'm all ready to cast all kinds of spells this evening.
I've got my Book of the Dead here. I'm going to pay homage to Aleister Crowley, who RV says maybe is my god, because that makes a lot of sense.
And this is